Well, the Blues beat the Rangers 5-2. You can bring out the Zamboni. A good road win, and congratulations to Jim Montgomery. Wins his first game as head coach of the St. Louis Blues. And the St. Louis Blues skate to the 5-2 win over the New York Rangers.
I loved our effort. Our execution offensively was really good. You know, we have some areas to improve upon, but just the effort and how hard they played for each other to block shots, the togetherness at the end of the second, you know, how we stuck up for each other. That's Blues hockey. That's blue collar hockey.
Let's get nasty on a Tuesday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. I don't know if it was the 5-2 final score that did it for me, but that looked like a completely different hockey club. A completely different hockey club last night. They were engaged. They were physical. The shot selection was there. The other team was actually doing the turnovers, which is nice. Rangers, multiple turnovers in their own end, especially behind the net. That was fun last night. I have no idea if it was a Jim Montgomery first game, first week, first month bump. I don't care. Watching Blues hockey last night was fun, gentlemen.
You like that?
You like that?
You like that?
Well, I told you guys yesterday that there was a new kind of energy surrounding this team. And it didn't just happen in pregame skate. It carried into the game. I mean, that team we saw last night, I mean, they were flying. Those guys were skating. The forecheck was executed to perfection. The forecheck created 2 goals for the Blues last night. And, you know, we haven't seen that in a while. Is it the new coach bump? Yeah, probably a little bit. You know, everybody's on their best behavior, but it's just being, I don't know how to explain it. It's just everything is being handled just differently. Like when you get to the rink, you're around the room and all, you just see guys operating differently. And, you know, Monty is grabbing guys one-on-one, talking to them quickly, explaining things. Like, that's the one thing I noticed last night is every time somebody came back off the ice or every time there was a whistle, Monty's down, bent over, talking to the guys, explaining stuff, got the little dry erase board, whatever. Then it's a pat on the back or a clap of the hands, like, let's go, you know? Mm-hmm. And guys are responding to that. And it's not to say that Drew Bannister wasn't coaching the team, because he was. And, again, we have to highlight that, you know, Army himself has said that almost 100% of this move was based on the fact that Jim Montgomery was available. But I also don't think you can overlook the impact that Monty's already had on this team. Like, when's the last time we've seen Zack Bolduc skate like that and play like that?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, who was that guy, number 76? I'm not familiar with him. Jamie?
Yeah. But you know what? Like, I think the one thing that we need to highlight what Monty said in his little presser and what Army has said too is Monty knows that the urgency to win is there right now. People want to win. The players in that locker room want to make the playoffs. But he also has a responsibility to make sure that this team can be a playoff team for the next decade. And by doing that, you got to develop your young players. You have to put them in uncomfortable situations. Last night, under the 5-minute mark, I even said it on the broadcast, he had Holloway and Bolduc out there with Oscar Sundqvist. Now, Sonny's obviously a very reliable player, but let's be honest, guys. A week ago, there's no way you see Holloway and Bolduc on the ice in a 1-goal game at that point. There's no way. You just wouldn't have. But you did last night, and that stuff goes a long way. Players love that stuff. Carey, you know this. The more responsibility you're given, the harder you're going to work, the harder you're going to play.
Yeah, I agree. I think they did a fantastic job last night. I think the thing that I enjoyed most is when there was scrums, there was a lot of Blues involved. Like, there were not, you know, one guy and 2 Rangers attacking them. There was it was even, and they were going after one another. I guess my question, where the hell has that been? Like, why, what are you doing? Your teammates, you're supposed to be getting after each other, getting after the opposing team. They did it last night, and they scored goals. I mean, we've talked about this. In order to win, you got to score more than the opponent, and they did that last night. They scored. Bolduc looked very good. That shot that we've talked about for a long time, he was taking it, hitting it, shooting it, getting multiple opportunities, shots on goal. I thought they did a really good job last night, and I thought they had more energy from start to finish than I've seen, maybe in 2 years. Like,
well, how
Like in
How about the
complete
fact that
game.
they had over 40 shots, Carey?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're shooting. There's somebody, and that's what it was. Jim Montgomery, we've been trying to, he was telling them to shoot it. And they finally listened.
That makes sense.
Hey, other coaches wasn't yelling at. That's the problem.
And let's really focus here on the fact that, like, they gave it to the New York Rangers.
Right.
The Rangers are a good hockey club. They're in a little bit of a tailspin right now. I think that was their third loss in a row, but they're a team that is supposed to be contending for a Stanley Cup this year. And Igor Shesterkin, their goalie, thank you very much, he's in line to become the highest paid goalie in NHL history. And, he couldn't solve the Blues last night. So there's a lot of positive things to take away from last night. And you're right, the scrums when guys are in there. 6 guys are in there, and you hear Monty after. Like, I just love hearing coaches say the right things. And in his presser following the game, he talks about, they had 6, we had 6. They had 7, we had 8. And he's referring to the number of players that were involved because it's power in numbers. You don't have the Matt Rempe on your team. You don't have that Ryan Reeves. So you've got to have that pack mentality where whoever it is, if it's Rempe that wants to square up with somebody, he gets punched in the head from one side, he gets punched in the head from the other side. Like, it's got to be a group effort. And heck, Joel Hofer skates down the ice and bumps into Shesterkin.
Loved it.
Boys, I was in heaven for a moment. I loved it. I mean, MSG, the place is sold out. Both teams are on the ice. The goalies are staring down. I'm like, oh, my God. We're going old school.
Yeah, the boys were ready to play last night. So here's Jim Montgomery last night talking about on what he did to create more offense.
Threw players over the boards. We got some talent. This is a talented roster. We got a lot of guys with really good offensive hockey sense. And if we're committed to checking like we were, the offense is going to come. But we were really connected. Our F3 was on the strong side. Our defensemen were very active and really intelligent with our puck management tonight.
It was great. It was just a fun game. I don't think going back to Shesterkin.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
I don't think he had an off night. I mean, he had the one where he got, he had the one save behind the back. He lost his stick. There were
he had a good night.
Yeah, there were a couple of big saves last time. I mean, you look at it and say, okay, he gave up 4. Blues score 5 because he had the empty netter at the end there with Pavel Buchnevich, and how sweet that was too with him going back to
that
MSG.
Was nice. That was great.
That was
Sonny
nice.
Giving it to him, dumping
I
him
loved
off to
it.
him.
That was great.
That's
By
a
the
great
way,
team.
That's
awareness.
Yeah.
Who had Booch?
You did. Did you?
Yeah.
Nice. And Carey got on the board again.
Kyrie.
Nice job. I don't think we've had 2.
No.
We've had plenty of goose eggs. We've never had 2 guys score in the same game.
We haven't had the Blues score a lot of goals for a while.
No, that's kind of the point. Yep, you said it, not me.
That's fine.
But I don't think, Shesterkin did not have a bad night at all. I thought the Blues just outworked him. And by them, I don't mean him. I mean the Rangers.
Yep.
The one, in fact, the one time that, who was it? It was I think it was Bolduc's first goal where he got it up. Mm-hmm. There was 4
3 or 4 shots on goal on that play
before finally got it in. So it was just a matter of doing the things that Jamie you often talk about. Get in front of the net, good things happen. Outwork the opponent, good things happen. Don't go, don't try to use your stick for everything. Get bodies on bodies. Everything happened last night. And the Blues took advantage of the mistakes that the Rangers made. And how many times have we said that about the Blues this season where the opponent took advantage in the third period after a slow start in the first? They took advantage of the Blues' mistakes. That was great. The shoe was on the other side of the foot for once last night, and I don't think it's coincidence. I do think it has a lot to do with the guys responding to Jim Montgomery.
Yeah, so let's go one step further. And, I just love the art of coaching. I just do. Whether it's the X's and O's or how to motivate a player, or in this particular case, Jim Montgomery, who's a very intelligent guy, period. And he's also got a nice resume in the NHL. But he's also sending a message to the fans through the media and to his players through the media. And he started immediately with his very first press conference saying that we need to get back to being a blue-collar team.
Yeah.
This is a blue-collar city. We need to be those types of players. We got to show up and play hard every night. So right there, he's telling the fan base what his expectations are for this team. At the same time, he's telling his team, you guys better work because I'm looking for blue-collar players, and if that's not you, you won't be here. Mm-hmm. And then last night, following the game, one of the very first things he says is, That's blue-collar hockey. That's what I'm talking about. That's Blues hockey.
Yeah.
And so now the players hear this stuff, and they know, okay, so what we did last night was good. We scored goals, we hustled, we got to the net, we hit guys, we took hits, we tried to fight guys, all this stuff. This is what the coach wants. And Carey, you know this. As athletes, and Anthony and Marshy, we all played team sports. As athletes on a team, you're always trying to make the coach happy.
Yeah.
And you know when you make the coach happy, when you're doing exactly what he's asking of you to do, and then you get rewarded.
Yeah.
And so I love what Monty's doing right now. He's creating a culture. He's creating a mindset for this team. And he's also creating expectations for the fan base. Realistic expectations. Not promising Stanley Cup or anything right now. He's promising Blues fans that they can look forward to seeing a team that plays blue-collar, hard-working hocky.
On another note, too, I know the power play went 0 for 3, but it did look different. Did you see that, Jamie?
Amazing. Oh, unbelievable. Honestly, this one of the most fun games I've had all year to call was last night, just for so many positive things to talk about. And that was noticeable, by the way. And that's a Monty effect right there. Monty doesn't like to pass the puck around until, there's nothing left of it.
Yeah.
He likes to get shots on net, and the Blues did that. And look at the chaos it caused. They almost had 2 or 3 different goals because of shooting the puck. And, the Fox... not the Fox goal, but he's in front of the net for Bolduc's first goal. That's a shot on net. They whack away 2, 3 shots on net. Then Colton Parayko just wrist shots a puck to the net, and there's a rebound that pops up. Bolduc puts that puck in. If you're not shooting the puck, you can't get those rebounds or tip-ins or anything like that. So for me, it was great that the players got rewarded by doing what the coach wants them to do. Now, hopefully it becomes, a trend or a habit for them to shoot the puck more.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get into one specific Blues player that perhaps Jim Montgomery unlocked. We'll tell you who that is next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
All right, if you're planning any kind of a renovation to your home, whether it's kitchen, bathroom, or those outdoor living spaces, you have to call my friends over at E&B Granite. They're the best in the business. They've been in the St. Louis area for over 20 years, and they pride themselves on great customer service. You walk into their showroom located at 6135 Manchester Avenue and talk to one of the in-house design staff and let them know what your vision is, what you're thinking about, or if you don't really know, then ask them. That's what I did. When I redid my kitchen, I talked to them. They gave me some great ideas. Then we walked into the back to take a look at all of the countertops that were available, and they've got quartz, they've got granite, they've got marble, soapstone, so many great items to choose from, different colors, different patterns. It's really fun experience going through that with E&B Granite. Their technicians are awesome. The installation was seamless, and I absolutely loved the end result. So please call them, book an appointment today. That number's 314-645-9300. That's 314-645-9300, or you can always visit them at enbgranite.com.
Well, with Jamie Rivers and Anthony Stalter, we called our guy Stewie today because Stewie, I got a buddy that keeps asking me, hey, ask your guy Stewie. I want to buy a house, but I don't know if I should wait until the rates get lower. What's your advice, Stewie?
Anthony, this is a big challenge. People's mindset are, I can't afford the payment. I can't afford the interest rates now. I'm going to wait until the interest rates are low enough where the payment's low enough and I can afford it. The problem is everybody's thinking like this. So what's going to happen when the rates do drop, probably springtime, everybody's going to say, okay, time to buy a house. The inventory is not going to be there, and you're going to overpay $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more for that house. The smart thing to do, especially going into the winter season where things are traditionally slower, is buy the house now. Pay the higher interest rate later on. You can always refinance for free with the bagel loan. But this way you get the right house, the one of your dreams, with the right price, and then you can get a lower payment later. Now, you can get now, later. Either way, you got your house. You understand what I'm saying. Don't procrastinate. Make it happen now. Otherwise, you may not even get the house. The bidding wars are going to be crazy.
Yeah, really, all they have to do is give Stewie a call, Anthony. That's the bottom line. Yeah, Stewie can explain it all day long. It doesn't matter. Just give him a call. He'll talk to you then in person and make sure that you're taken care of the right way. That number to call Stewie is 314-324-4440. Again, that's 314-324-4440. Anthony, you're so excited.
I know.
Tell them what they can do if they can't remember the number.
You can always Google the bagel loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Have a good night, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
Trying to come back in with it. Pump it towards the net. That's blocked to Bolduc behind the goal. Foxa stops in front. Shesterkin gets a piece of it, falls forward, and they score! Bolduc, he's on the board, his first of the year. And the Blues take a 2-1 lead. 15:30 to go, second period. Zachary Bolduc battles on the near wing. They get it to Parayko. Bolduc, he scores! What a shot! On a one-timer wrister under the bar, 4-2 St. Louis. 11:35 to go, third period.
That was Chris Kerber last night right here on the Blues Radio Network in 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane. Zack Bolduc last night, 15:49 ice time. 7 shots, 2 goals. Nearly had the hat trick. He was in position on the breakaway to get the third goal, the hat trick there, but he winds up with 2 goals, 2 points, +2, +- and a 78.4% expected goal percentage. So this kid played very well last night. Did you see anything, Jamie, that would lead us to believe that Jim Montgomery has unlocked Zack Bolduc?
Well, he let him play. I mean, it comes down to being as simple as that. I don't know if
can't produce if you don't play. That's a good call.
Yeah, and I don't know how much there is to unlock if you've been with the team for 24 hours and you're trying to get to know every single player. Zack Bolduc deserves 95% of the credit here. I mean, he's the guy who went out there and did it. And we talk about when the Blues don't play well and we need to blame the players. That's not. So why don't we, at the same time, why don't we praise the players when they do something good? And for Zack Bolduc, I just felt like he was playing with a different confidence. And maybe it was just because he had, not that he got into the doghouse with Drew Bannister, because I don't believe that to be true, but I do believe that he didn't have the confidence of the coach. And when you're a player in any sport at all, or any walk of life, any business, if you know you don't have the confidence of your boss or your employer, that's rough. Mm-hmm. It's tough. You're continuously then trying to not screw up rather than going out there and making a difference. And I think that last night against the Rangers, it allowed Zack Bolduc to go out there and be a difference maker. And who knew that the chemistry between him and Holloway was going to be so good. And you put Oscar Sundqvist out there, who's Mr. Reliable defensively, and he's along for the ride while these two young guys just go speeding around out there. I really liked Zack Bolduc's game. I really liked Dylan Holloway's game. I mean, the whole team, for that matter, had a really good night. But yeah, those two young players, man, they've got speed to burn. They're going to be tough to handle.
Yeah, you talk about opportunities. I mean, if you're not getting the time on ice, it's hard to. And then you're. Oh, you okay? Good. And then you're not afraid to mess up, but you're not playing as freely and as loosely as you possibly can. I thought last night you saw the best version of Zack Bolduc, and it was because just play. Do the things that got you here, and we've talked about that shot. He had some really good shots on goal, made a few of them. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was fun to watch. It's what we have been waiting for since, we knew he was going to be on this team. So it was a great performance from him last night. I think a great performance from all of them.
I do too. Jim Montgomery last night also discussed Zack Bolduc and what he has to do to sustain that success. Here's Jim Montgomery.
Just by the consistency of it, We're not going to be as good as we were offensively every night, Like, we could have had 8 tonight, Shesterkin played well. But when you were talking specifically about Bolduc, for him, it's about on to the next game and then having a good practice tomorrow and mentally getting prepared like he did tonight. You got to develop a routine that's going to give you success night in, night out in this league. It's a hard league, but obviously the talent's there.
I don't think he's exaggerating either about them having 8. The two almost back-to-back plays there where Bolduc had the breakaway. And then there was another instance where the Blues, they got because of a turnover or something. Oh, the two Rangers collided. That's what happened. The two Rangers collided, and it was a Falk or somebody picked up the loose puck. They had a goal.
Booch hit the post on that.
Booch hit the post, yeah.
So you had a golden opportunity there too. There's 2 more goals to finish it off. So I don't think that Jim Montgomery is exaggerating at all with that. So. The offense looked, everything just looked better. So hopefully this carries over now. That's the big question. Will this carry over? Will not only the individual performance, it's great to see what Zack Bolduc did last night, but it's not as if the Blues haven't had guys pop up in certain spots that have had good nights. It is about team. It's about how does the team perform. And last night was the first time that they really played a complete effort. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. It didn't feel like, there's a bad period. I thought they played well from start to finish. Jamie, you were there. You're on the call. Did you see any instant at all where it was like, you're a little bit of a let up here for 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, no, not really. I didn't. I thought there was one extended shift in the second period where, 4 guys got stuck out there for 2.5 minutes. But that's, that was more of a situational thing where the Rangers were able to get a good change and they stayed in the offensive zone, but you didn't give up much. Even though you had those guys out there for a long time, you didn't give up much offensively to the Rangers. But no, I loved the effort for 60 minutes. I thought it was probably the best overall effort all season. And again, I'm going to go back to Jim Montgomery because I just think that just like any great coach, when you hear them talk about things, you can always grab something from that conversation. And the last thing where he talked about Zack Bolduc and the team offensively, he strategically had praise, but also cautioned the fan base. Like, this kid needs to be more consistent, but this is what he's capable of doing. Mm-hmm. And then we're not always going to be that good offensively. So don't expect 7-8 goals a game now, 5-6 goals a game, just because there's a coaching change. But I think it's smart because everybody gets so excited with wins, which you should. It's great to win. It's fun for the fans. It's fun for everybody. But I still think it's good to have the realistic expectations too, to where if Zack Bolduc goes out and has an average game tomorrow night against the Devils, you've kind of been cautioned. He's still working on his consistency. You don't have to be like, that guy stinks, get rid of him. Like, you're going to be like, no, Monty said there's going to be some consistency issues, and we're working with the young guy. Like, I don't know. I just think the communication goes a long way with the players and also with the fan base.
Got a great text from the 314. I can't believe Anthony is happy with Bolduc's performance last night. He did not get the hat trick.
Well, you know what?
I did think about that.
Right.
I did think about that.
You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this time we didn't have to go to overtime because of it.
Right, yeah.
It's way different, right, Anthony?
It's way different. Thank you, Jamie. Yeah. The Jordan Cairo, let's just call it a mishap in that first game. Yeah, that's different. That's way different. I did think about that, though, after he had the breakaway. Like, do I bring this up? Nah, let's just play this one straight. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's talk about Jamie's game notes now. So we'll kind of unload. So Jamie's with us for the first hour of the show. So it's a Blues power hour here. So we're going to stick with the Blues. But Jamie, who was on yesterday for an hour, and us, because of the Jim Montgomery firing, we did not get to our NFL game notes. So we'll do that next, and then we'll do some more Blues in about 15 minutes or so. But Jamie's Week 12 game notes next on 101 ESPN.
With Black Friday going on this week, the holidays are approaching, and we've got the perfect gift for you and your family. It's called Sound Story. Sound Story is an hour-long interview with your mom or dad, grandparents, whomever it is, and they get to tell their life stories, making sure that you and other relatives or siblings have these memories recorded and saved forever. And since it's Black Friday this week, Sound Story has a special Black Friday discount of 10% off holiday gift cards at mysoundstory.com if you enter promo code ESPN. So please go to mysoundstory.com, enter ESPN in the promo code, and you get your 10% discount there. And also, it's new for the 2024 holiday season. Sound Story is offering the option of a video interview to make sure that both the stories and the images are preserved forever. So this is a fantastic gift for a family member. It's a fantastic way to remember all of the great stories of loved ones, and you can have the video and the audio forever. So please go to mysoundstory.com, enter promo code ESPN to get the 10% off holiday gift card for Sound Story. That's Sound Story. Visit them at mysoundstory.com. If you like sports betting, then you need to download Circa Sports Illinois. The app is fantastic. And I'm sure you've heard me talk already about Circa Casino in Las Vegas and how Derek Stevens, a good friend of mine, had a vision to create the world's largest sports book. And he did so in his casino. And now it's in the palm of your hand, and it's super easy to download. It's user-friendly. You can bet on your favorite teams, players with ease. There's prop bets. There's money lines. And by the way, they've got tight money line splits. You're going to get the best odds out there of any app. So that's a really good return on your investment. And again, just download the Circa Sports Illinois app. You can find it on their website, or you can find it in the App Store. There's no betting limits. It's super easy to use. And if you have a problem, don't worry about it. They got exceptional customer service. It's a real person, too. You don't get a bot or anything like that that's talking to you. My plays for tonight using the Circa Sports Illinois app. NHL, of course. Vancouver plus 100 on the money line. I've got them beating the Boston Bruins. As well, I'm going to parlay that with Utah Hockey Club on the money line at minus 135. They're going to beat the Canadiens tonight. So those are my plays. Download Circa Sports Illinois app today, and then you can make your own plays. Don't miss out on the action. Download Bet Like a Pro with Circa Sports Illinois app today and join in on the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues pick up a victory at Madison Square Garden last night over the New York Rangers, a 5-2 final. Zack Bolduc scored twice in Jim Montgomery's debut. The Blues will take on the New Jersey Devils tomorrow. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. We'll talk with Joe Vitale at 5 o'clock, so stay tuned for that. But coming up next, we're going to dive into Jamie's NFL Week 12 game notes. That's coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Well, since the Jim Montgomery news broke over the weekend, we didn't have an opportunity to do our game notes from Week 12 in the NFL, and Jamie's with us for the next half hour or so. So, Jamie, time to get to your NFL Week 12 game notes.
Yeah, all right. So first off, I've got the 49ers. Yeah, they're toast, guys. That this season's a write-off, and I actually don't even know. I don't even know if there is a way to salvage this season, because I don't think they'll be a playoff team now based on everything that's going on with the injuries they've had, and then Brock Purdy missing a game. And that's kind of funny too, right? Like, let's go back a couple of years. Who would have thought, damn, they're going to be without Brock Purdy?
And then you watch Brandon Allen play, and you're like, well, okay, yeah. Brock Purdy is good.
How about a little respect for the man? You know, yeah. Brock Purdy's a pretty good player, and, but right now, the season for them is done, and I wonder, like, what changes are coming for the 49ers? Because is it simply a matter of getting healthy and you run it back again? I mean, what do you guys think?
I think they do need to get healthy. They've had so many injuries. Trent Williams was out. I know Deebo Samuel has missed time. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey has missed time. Brandon Ayuk is out for the year. Brock Purdy missed time. George Kittle has missed time. Brock Purdy missed the last game. Like, you've had so many. It's like when some people are healthy, other people are not. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of been their story the entire season. I think pretty much all of them are still under contract. Brock Purdy should be coming up here soon looking for a contract extension. But I think he's a year away from that. So, I mean, you're running it back. You're hoping that everybody is healthy and ready to roll. But this year, I agree with you, Jamie. It's probably a wrap. They are, and nobody wants to win the NFC West, and they can't either. So
that's literally what I wrote for my one game note. I said nobody wants to win the NFC West. No.
It's crazy what's going on there.
Yeah, I think, and fans don't want to hear this. And if Tanisha's listening here in the Snake Pit, she definitely doesn't want to hear this as a 49ers fan, but it'd almost be better if they continue to lose. The draft pick will be better, and they can revamp things through the draft. But Carey's right. You paid Brandon Ayuk, you paid Deebo Samuel, you've paid guys along the way here, and you still have that Brock Purdy contract that's coming up at some point. I don't think there should be a rush on that, but that's still going to soak up a lot of cap space. You've got a lot of cap space dedicated to guys that have produced well for you, that will be under contract for a while now. It's not like you can fix things on the fly in free agency. You're going to have to do it through the draft. I think they need that speed element that's missing on offense, and I think they've got some issues on defense, specifically in the secondary.
When is Purdy's contract up? Because I thought he only had like one more year on this like first quarterback deal, and I believe that I thought he had to get paid after this.
So
maybe it's one more year.
He's a free agent in 2026. So you can wait this out another year, and you can franchise him too.
Yeah.
You can franchise him in 2026. It's what the Giants should have done with Daniel Jones. Franchise him.
Yeah, they clearly didn't.
That did work out.
Yep.
Well, it didn't work out at all. That's what I'm saying. They should have franchised him.
Your guy, Carey.
Watch him stink again, and then move on.
Yeah, I was wrong about that one.
Not even an argument. Yep, that was wrong.
Yeah, it was bad.
All right. My second team here in the game notes is the Ravens. And I thought to myself, when I was watching that game on Monday night, I'm like, okay, is this the Super Bowl version of the Ravens? Like, they played a pretty sound game. Like, the running game was good. Their offense was good. Like, watching them play, I thought to myself, like, maybe this is the best team in the AFC. I know they've had some bumps in the road, but when they play like that and they're as dominant as they can be, it's like, I just don't know if Kansas City has enough. I just don't know if the Bills have enough. And the Steelers, well, we'll get into them next, or my next one.
What?
No, you're fine, Carey. It's all great stuff. Maybe. I don't think so. But so when you guys watched that Ravens team play the way they did last night, who's beating them?
Themselves.
Okay.
I think they're beating. I think they can beat themselves.
Off the grid with that one. Nice job.
I mean, if you look in the NFC, if you look in the AFC title game a year ago, taking nothing away from Kansas City because they played well, but Carey's mentioned this before. They got away from the running game. They got too cute and wound up losing that one. Their defense, their secondary is not good. That's a huge issue for them. Offensively, though, them and the Lions, if they're right, they could put 48 on you in a blink. So to your point, Jamie, do they match up well with everybody in the AFC? Absolutely. Do I trust that they're going to get it done when they're the most penalized team in the NFL and defensively they can't slow down the pass? No, this is why I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Kansas City Chiefs, who we always question in the middle of the season, and then when Mahomes is raising the Lombardi again, we're like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. And I know Carey refuses to do so. That's fine. Carey doesn't have to be on the bandwagon with us and Red Nation here.
Oh, us. I love that. Now it's us. That's great.
That's interesting.
All right. Well, speaking of Carey, my last team here is the Steelers. Not going home. How about did the smoke and mirrors finally show up for these guys? I mean, Cleveland's not a good team. Now, the weather sucked. I get it, but both teams had to play in it. I just worry, Carey. I watched that team, and you can't, I know you'll disagree, but if you're being honest, you can't disagree that you've been kind of waiting for the bubble to pop a little bit because the field goal kicker's been the busiest guy on the team all year long. And they just... Can they actually contend with no offense? Like, it's just not there. They had 3 points again, then 3 points, and then they scored a little bit late in the game. But it's like, I don't think they scare anybody. And do you know what I'm saying? Like, I know you probably push back on this, but I just don't see it, man.
No, you're not going to get any pushback. They shouldn't have lost to the Browns. They were a 2-8 team. It's a short week. Nobody cares. You're both playing in the elements. You're both, on a short week. It was a bad loss. And, we were talking about this yesterday. They did add Justin Fields and have a little wrinkle, but I think it's difficult to do that when it's as cold as it is. Justin Fields sat on the bench. You're sitting there for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and then being asked to go run full speed. That is not an easy task. They got to figure out a way to get the passing game going effectively. I thought Russell did that well in his first few starts. I don't think he did it. He's done it well the last couple of games. Like you said, Boswell scored all of the points against the Ravens, and they were unable to really get anything going offensively. They threw a couple of touchdowns, but it was a tough loss in my opinion. Division rival, we can make all the excuses in the world, but I don't give them any. They should not have lost that game.
So when you look big picture, though, both of you guys. When I look big picture, I just don't have the Steelers like being a threat in the AFC. Like I think of the Chiefs, I think of the Bills, I think of the Ravens, and I mean I might even think of another team before I think of the Steelers. And it's just because of their inability to push the ball downfield and score points on a regular basis. And I know there's been teams in the past that have won with the great defense, but I don't know if the Steelers' defense is equal to the defense that the Ravens had when they won it that year.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I do
just
know what
don't
you're
know.
saying. The answer is no. What? They're not the 2000 Ravens. Come on. They're not the Legion of Boom.
What?
No. But I think when you guys make your power rankings in the AFC, if you're being honest, they've got to be like 4 or 5 on the list.
I think that every team in the AFC has warts. Each of them. They all have something that they're flawed in.
Make medicine for that, Carey.
Yeah, they need to go see the doctor. The Baltimore Ravens, their secondary is one of the things that stinks for them. The Chiefs, their inability to have explosive plays on offense, that's their thing. The Bills, surprisingly, don't have many, but, that would probably be the one team that you could say I don't see a real issue. Maybe the running game, James Cook. How are they?
They're very reliant on Josh Allen. I think that's right.
That's probably their wart.
Their Achilles heel.
I think the Steelers obviously being able to pass the ball. So each one of these teams have had some sort of issue. Somebody's coming out of the AFC. I don't know who it is. I think it'll just be dependent upon who teams match up against once they get to the playoffs.
We know who it is.
Baltimore. Baltimore.
No, it's Kansas City.
Why would you say that?
Why would I say that? They always do.
What? That's ridiculous.
Oh, Anthony.
Come on now.
Oh, gosh.
Let's just use some common sense here, okay? Let's use some common sense.
I was watching, Get Up this morning, and they were comparing kind of Lamar Jackson's career and what he's done in comparison to, Peyton Manning. Winning the MVPs, being the best player in the league. Obviously, two different styles. But until Peyton, just a little bit. I didn't see Peyton running that much. But until Peyton was able to win that championship, he had won 2 MVPs prior to winning the championship. I thought that was a pretty good comparison.
It makes sense because how many Super Bowls does Peyton Manning win if Tom Brady's not in the AFC?
A bunch. Same thing for old Lamar.
With Patrick Mahomes, sure.
But
Peyton Manning did eventually get over the Tom Brady hump. So if you're Lamar, you got to do the same. You may have to go through Patrick Mahomes. That's great. It's a good thing.
Not this year.
What do you mean not this year?
They won't have to go through Patrick Mahomes.
Why? Here we go.
Oh, my goodness.
The Bills are going to take care of
okay.
All right. Just trying to help you out there, Carey.
Carey's Bills now.
Yeah. So the Blues, as we discussed in the first 2 segments today, the Blues look like a completely different team under Jim Montgomery. We're going to lay out some reasons why it's possible that it's just the new coach bump that we could see, not just last night, but maybe moving forward. And we're also going to outline some reasons why what we saw last night might actually be the real thing. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Skip the malls on Black Friday and shop Johnny Londoff Chevrolet for huge savings all month long. They're giving thanks this year with unbelievable savings on every vehicle on their lot. Visit Londoff.com 24/7. Check out everything there. But why don't you pop by one of the locations? They got 2 locations now available for people. They got the original in Florissant, Missouri, and the new Londoff Autoplex located out in St. Peters. Right off of Highway 70. They've got a tremendous amount of new and pre-owned inventory. So many great deals going on. They've got the tons of inventory of the all-new Chevy Trax arriving daily. I told you before, my son bought one of those cars. They are fantastic, and the deal you can get on those is just unbelievable. And let's remember that nobody else is going to give you more cash for your trade-in. That's not trade assistance or value-added pricing. No, it's cash for your trade, period. And that's a guarantee from Johnny Londoff himself. So please visit Londoff Chevrolet in Florissant, Missouri, or the new Autoplex out in St. Peters. Or you can always visit them online at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
If you're looking to accessorize your vehicle, please head over to Pure Performance. They are your one-stop shop for all aftermarket modifications, and they are known in the industry for their top quality work and outstanding customer service. And no matter what kind of vehicle you've got, Pure Performance has accessories for you. If you have a pickup truck, a Jeep, a Bronco, a minivan, you name it, they've got you covered. And they also sell all tires and wheels, not just oversized tires or off-road stuff. No, they sell the regular stuff at the same time. Great tires, great wheels. And let's not forget about the lift kits, the leveling kits. How about the exhaust systems? All that wonderful stuff is available in their 25,000 square foot facility. It is the largest showroom in the area, and they're located right there in St. Peter's off Highway 70. Super easy to find. When you get there, walk in, ask for Shelby or Caleb. Tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. They're going to take great care of you. I absolutely promise you that. So please stop by, check out all the awesome stuff inside. But if not, you can find all of that online at pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
Yeah, I just thought connected in all three zones. Played hard for each other. There was a lot of sacrifice, changing for each other. It was fun to be a part of. You could tell the energy on the bench was good, and guys were feeling it and playing well, all four lines. So we play like that, we're going to win more games than we're going to lose.
Jake Neighbors following last night's 5-2 win for the Blues over the Rangers. Jake Neighbors nearly had a goal himself as well.
That's who you had, isn't it?
No, I had Robert Thomas. He didn't sniff the goal.
I had Jake Neighbors.
Oh. Mm-hmm. He almost had one. Oh, you had Jake Neighbors?
He had Jake Neighbors. Mm-hmm. Robert Thomas was out there.
He was shooting. Everybody was shooting.
He was doing well in the face-off dot.
That creates offense, Anthony.
For others, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Jordan Kyrou.
Yeah, I mean.
Your guy.
Pick better, Anthony.
Thank you. So was last night a product of the new head coach bump, or should Blues fans come to expect this type of effort night in and night out? Well, we don't know. We'll find out. Probably, but I also think there's some tangible evidence from last night that we could see carry into upcoming games, including tomorrow night's game. So why don't we kind of list some reasons, guys, as to why we think it could be a new coach bump, and what we saw last night that could lead us to believe that it's going to be Jim Montgomery implementing some new strategies. So, Jamie, what are the reasons why it isn't a new coach bump?
All right, I'm trying to follow this along here. So we're talking about things, if I'm right, you want to talk about things that they're doing consistently well now or before?
No. So last night, what could you see carry over because of Jim Montgomery?
Oh, well, just the approach to the game. Like the overall attitude and energy that is something that everybody can control. And I've said that before to players is you can't control the outcome of the games, but you can always control your attitude, your energy, and your effort. And so I think that those are things that can carry over for sure. And I just, listening to the team and the players and the coaching staff talk, I mean, they use the word details all the time. It's in the details. We really haven't heard that from players in a lot of these scrums until Monty jumped on board here 2 days ago, and all of a sudden everybody's referencing details. That's because Monty's hammering that home right now, that all of these little details matter in a game. And so I think that's something that can carry over too. I did see a lot more responsibility with the puck last night. There were a couple of turnovers. I mean, that happens. It's the sport of hockey. It's fast. Things go on in a game.
Sure.
But the thought process of keeping the puck along the wall, keeping the puck in the corner, not just firing it up the middle of the ice, you could see guys were very aware to manage the puck in a better way. So I think everything we saw last night can carry over. The biggest question is, will the players continue to do it? And the players have to feel invested every night in doing so, and to continue to follow all of this stuff that the coach wants. And you're going to have games where it just doesn't work. So, like, if they come out here tomorrow night, for some reason doesn't go the right way against the Devils, like, it's not like all is lost. And, it's just no different even with the new coach. Like, I said yesterday, we got to give this time, man. We got to give this 7 to 14 days for everything to kind of sink in, and for Monty to really be able to dissect what's going on and keep things going. But I do feel like all of those things can be repeated on a regular basis moving forward.
I think last night was hopefully it's a glimpse into who they are going forward. I mean, the energy. We talked about just finishing games the right way. I think I read that they were minus 12 in third periods this year. Oof. They were plus 3 last night. So you figure in a way to finish games. You got to lead, now close the door. Add to it. Even better. Like, I thought they did a great job last night. They are, excuse me, plus minus, they are minus 18, which is second to last in the Western Conference. Like, they have some work to do to get better in that regard. But last night, I think, was a look in the right direction for them, saying that they were able to score 3 goals in the third period, where you've been stinking it up in the third period in past games.
Yeah, for me, it was the way that they won the game. It wasn't, hey, let's get it. We've talked about this before. Hey, just get it close in the third period, and then try to win it in the third period. And they got some good puck luck, and then they won the game. That was a complete effort from start to finish. I don't care if the Rangers are struggling or not. They're facing an elite goaltender. They're still a very good squad. And from even like a betting standpoint, the Blues were heavily underdogs. They were heavy underdogs last night. So even from a Vegas standpoint, you're looking at it like, okay, this is a team that, as I struggle to strangle my microphone.
Be careful there, Anthony.
Get this fixed.
Don't get shocked
at some point. Please. They look good. It wasn't like they got a new boss and everybody was kind of like, oh, we better play with a little urgency tonight. That, I think, is the new coach bump, right? Last night, the way that they played, the way that the Rangers were the ones that were making mistakes, the way that guys like Zack Bolduc got an opportunity to play and then cashed in on the opportunity. One of the guys that's supposed to be your best player, Jordan Carey, scored last night. You play with your backup goaltender, who had some big-time saves, including the big glove save in the first period. It looked and felt different than previous Blues games this season.
And you're going to get some players coming back, too. Like, you're playing without Broberg, without Leddy. Like, you're having just success. And you saw last night, it's almost like when Jake Neighbors talks about, oh, I can just go to the front of the net and score goals. I should have done this a long time ago, type thing. It's almost like that, but for an entire team. Oh, we can play like this and win games. Like, I wouldn't say it was a convincing win, but it kind of was. Like, that was a convincing win, in my opinion. Yeah. You can do that. We can do that every single night. Oh, man. Okay. I'm down.
Right.
Like, that's what it feels like. It just seems like they just have a newfound confidence under Jim Montgomery.
I agree.
Getting players back is like making a trade, Anthony.
It really is.
It really is.
You get guys back.
Making trades is like making trades.
Like making a trade for an all-star.
Nah.
Yep.
You're not going to convince me otherwise.
Okay.
You get those players back, and they're injured players that are coming back.
Watch the bump.
So, Anthony, let me present a different scenario for you. Okay? Let's say Philip Broberg comes back tomorrow night. Let's just say. And one of your other defensemen, who is not to his caliber, has to be left out of the roster. That means you're trading Broberg for a certain player. So that's a trade, right?
I like how you're thinking, Jamie. You're spot on.
Yeah, they did trade for Philip Broberg. You're absolutely right.
No, they signed him.
They signed him, then completed a trade.
You guys are just trading ideas. It's a great,
Wow.
Yeah.
it's a great thing.
Anthony, just have some fun in life, okay, buddy?
Okay. You know what?
Lighten up, Francis.
I'll have fun when you cut the crap.
I say we get rid of Jamie.
I'm sick of this anyways. I'm done with you guys.
Good call. Jamie's out of here. The Cardinals, their new regime of when it eventually takes over.
Just in time.
Do they need to be more cutthroat like Doug Armstrong? Of course they do. Will they? That's next on 101 ESPN.
For the best food and a fun time, head over to my friends over at Twin Peaks, located in Maplewood. The staff is awesome over there. It's a great spot, too. If there's a sporting event that you're looking to check out on TV, or if there's multiple events that you're wanting to check out, they've got TVs all through the bar area. A great bar, too, to just sit at if you're all by yourself and grab a little bite to eat. The menu's fantastic. They're rolling out new food all the time on the menu. My favorite new item is the quesadilla tacos. Just trust me. Order them. Get the little dipping sauce. It is so good. And Twin Peaks is known for their great food. They've got great burgers. Flatbreads are sensational. And if there's something a little lighter you want, maybe a salad or a soup, all that available at Twin Peaks. And let's not forget the 29-degree man-sized draft. So good, so cold. They also have a great selection of bourbons that are on the premises. They've got the flavored vodkas. They've got the great Shirley Temples for the little ones out there, and they've got some sweet treats, too. A couple of sundaes that the kids would enjoy as well. And you'll find all of that over at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. The Cardinals' new regime, the one that will replace John Mozeliak. So we're talking about, Hein Bloom and their new assistant GM. Do they need to be more cutthroat like we just saw with Doug Armstrong? And really, let's open up the discussion here. What Doug Armstrong did was he had somebody in place in Drew Bannister that he knew wasn't as good of a coach as the one that just became available. So, feelings be damned, he struck while the iron was hot. Montgomery was interested in coming back to St. Louis, and Doug Armstrong made the move. So you had a situation that opened up. It's not like Doug Armstrong created the situation. It's not like he forced anything. Montgomery became available, and he went and got him. We haven't really seen this with the Cardinals. We have seen the more patient approach, which is fine. But when you have these moments, you got to take them.
Yeah.
And I think there's been some times where Mo, like, let's be fair, Arenado became available, Mo went and got him. Paul Goldschmidt became available, Mo went and got him. But have we seen that same, like, cutthroat nature of, hey, this may hurt now, but I think we'll be fine a year from now?
I think the opportunity has to be presented for something like that to happen. With Holloway and Broberg, that was a unique opportunity, and we saw Army say, yeah, I'm going. With this situation with Bannister, it's another unique opportunity where a head coach that you probably would have hired in the offseason had he been fired, he gets fired, a couple of months into the season, you're like, yeah, need him round, got to get him. And so I think those are unique opportunities. I don't know if those opportunities have been presented for Mozeliak to do something like that. I mean, we have seen him make trades, and they have been on the cautious side. Like, not high risk, high reward type of trades. Just kind of get the job done. Even some of the signings. I think something like that would have been moving Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt last year when you were stinking.
Exactly.
Something where you're like, he
yes.
means business.
Yes.
I think that's easier to do when nobody is expecting you to win right now. And that's what the Blues, I don't think people were expecting them to have a winning playoff push in the way that it's expected for the Cardinals.
But do you think that Army would operate any differently? Because I don't.
Nah. I think he wants to make sure that, but I was going to say he wants to make sure that the team is the best team and the best product. I don't think I believe that's what Mo thinks as well. It's just a different person going about it in a different way.
I think it comes down to urgency. I think Doug Armstrong sees that the Blues in this retool are not heading in the direction of what a retool team needs to head into, which is going up instead of going down. And the Cardinals they're in the same position. They've gone 2 years now without making it to the playoffs. I don't see the urgency from the Cardinals that the Blues have. Doug Armstrong's like, I am about to be out of here from a general manager standpoint in the next few years.
Yeah.
I want to leave the team better than when I found it. So I'm going to do everything possible to make sure that is what's happening. And Jim Montgomery is a part of that. He makes this team better. I don't know if the Cardinals are doing the same thing, and I don't see them doing the same thing because they've never shown it. Doug Armstrong has shown that.
Right.
He's made some mistakes in the past, but he is trying to correct them. I don't know if the Cardinals are necessarily trying to correct them. They are putting in new facilities, and they're doing all these things from a youth standpoint, but trying to make the team better now, I'm not seeing that.
Right.
I guess my question would be, is it easier to do it in hockey than it is in baseball? Because I think it takes longer for a prospect to become a Major League Baseball player than for a prospect to become a National Hockey League player.
Yes, but also NHL has a salary cap, so you have to play with that as well. Baseball, you can go out and just sign anybody.
The Cardinals have a salary cap.
But like, throw that out though. But like to your question,
they do.
That's their problem.
Yeah, that's also Mo's problem. Like they have a salary cap. Like the Yankees don't, the Dodgers don't, the Phillies don't, the Mets don't, the Cardinals do. Like they have a number, and we don't know it, but they know what the number is.
So then, to your point, that makes you have to be cutthroat then. If you do have a salary cap in baseball, you need to find creative ways to make your team better. And the Cardinals have simply not done that. Now, this new regime, I would like to think that they would do that, but it seems like the way that they're going, it doesn't seem like they will. Like they'll play it safe still, but just with better development.
Yeah, I'm not talking as much about when I'm describing this. I'm not just talking about like moves. Mm-hmm. I'm not just talking about free agency. I think quite frankly, and I'm calling myself out here too. Like we talk way too much about free agency, mm-hmm. and we talk way too much about what specific move our favorite teams can make to make the team better. Mm-hmm. That is a small fraction mm-hmm. of what it means to build a team, a successful team. For example, what are the Cardinals doing now?
They're in a they're in a transition period where they're going to the youth of the organization, and they're ushering a new era of Cardinals baseball.
They're resetting things because why? Because what they have done is not working. Why did you let it get so far out of control that you now have to swing the pendulum all the way back to basically reset? Mm-hmm. You've gone so far that you need a full reset. Why? Because you were not thinking proactively. Mm-hmm. The Cardinals kept thinking, and I could be completely wrong about this, and somebody within the Cardinals organization can say this guy's an idiot, and I am. But the results are what the results are. You were way ahead of the game back in the day. You were doing things that other teams copied, put their own spin on, and then started beating you with. And you never really changed. You kept at it. And then you tried the quick fix. And Carey, you and I disagree with the Ozuna trade. Fine. That screwed up the entire organization for 5, 6, 7 years.
I think Jack Flaherty and Alex Reyes getting hurt screwed up the
You could have had it all.
Organization.
You had a philosophy, and you got away from it, but it wasn't a creative thing. Doug Armstrong fast-laned up by not bringing back Alex Pietrangelo. That's a fact. You can go back to that moment and then kind of figure out why we're here. Mm-hmm. But you're right, Marsh. He's been aggressive in trying to overcome that mistake. The Cardinals made a mistake. It's like, well, we'll just see how this plays out. No. So that's what I'm talking about with cutthroat. I'm not talking about firing a manager mm-hmm. or making a big splash signing. I'm talking about having an approach that the league will be behind in a year or so. You know that you're going to be out in front a little bit. I bring this up all the time. Like, say what you want about Belichick. He was doing things that was constantly ahead of the competition. He had Tom Brady. He did have Tom Brady. Didn't rest on his laurels, did he? Mm-hmm. He was doing things that other teams started to copy. He was always out in front until he wasn't.
My concern for the Cardinals is I don't know if they can really get back in front of some of these other teams because they're so behind. They're catching up now, and while they're looking to catch up, other teams are still finding innovative ways to make their ball club better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope that this little era that we've gone through hasn't been like just irreparable damage to the organization. Do you feel that way?
I think it's a really good question. I think it's a fair concern. The good news is the Cardinals aren't the only team that gets complacent. Mm-hmm. I think other teams will get complacent. They'll get bored. They'll think they have it all figured out, and then they're going to be behind. It happened to the Cardinals. So I think it will happen to other teams. What was once old is new again. There are other ways. I mean, the league is really homogenized. I mean, teams are doing the exact same thing. Maybe it'll take Bloom to come in with fresh eyes and say, hey, we need to do this, whatever this is, mm-hmm. to get the organization back on track. And I don't think resetting the organization is the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, why did it take to get this bad?
See,
for
I
you
think
to
that's
do it?
a glass half empty look at things. I look at it as glass half full.
Carey, you've been dogging on the Cardinals the entire calendar year.
You know,
you even switched teams.
I did switch teams because I was tired of watching what I was watching. But I've seen
Glass half empty. What are you talking
I've
about?
seen a shift in the mindset of the St. Louis Cardinals, and I'm excited for the future. I'm excited about these young players. I'm excited to see the development of Nolan Gorman and Jordan Walker. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch old Willie Contreras at first base. You not excited about that?
I'm excited that they're going to do something different.
You got Ivan Herrera behind the plate. Let's figure out how to develop him to throw runners out. Let's do that.
No, I am excited. I honestly,
there you go. See,
there's a portion of me.
You guys did it.
There's a part of me.
Hey, Carey, go to hell.
There's something in me that thinks that this team actually could be better than what they were last year.
I do too.
There you
I'm
go.
with you. I'm with you.
How you see it.
But it's not even. Hey, they're going to go on the offseason. They're going to sign somebody. I don't think you have to. I think you have to just stop. I think you have to put down the shovel.
Do you think
stop burying yourself?
Do you think the Cardinals' new model could be what the Rays model has been, just with a little bit more spending?
Yeah, I do.
And I think that could work.
Which, you know whose model that is, too? Is the Dodgers. I mean, Dodgers have the Rays model. It is draft, develop, but then it's also add, every top free agent possible because they've got the ability to do so.
You could have done that. You could have brought in some pitchers. You could have traded some bats.
Right.
That were older gentlemen.
You could have.
Do you think a
foresight?
I know you touched on you're not talking about managerial changes.
Yeah.
Do you think because this conversation kind of the inception of it is because of what Doug Armstrong did, bringing in a new coach, do you think the Cardinals could find more success with a different manager? Or do you think it's Ali Marmol's team and he can still, be the guy for the Cardinals? Because I feel like people think that there's another person out there that could do a better job.
Okay. If a Jim Montgomery type becomes available, then yes. I don't know who's available right now. And maybe that guy was Terry Francona and just let him go to a division rival. That's fair. Maybe it's
seriously.
Joe Madden. Yeah. Maybe it's Joe Madden. Yeah, I do think they could probably upgrade at manager. Unless you're talking about a Joe Madden. I don't know where he is in his baseball career, if he wants to come back or anything like that. I have no idea. If there's not that, if your Jim Montgomery's not available, then you kind of got to ride it out with your current Drew Bannister.
Your Jim Montgomery was available, and you just mentioned him. He's on he's managing the Reds now.
Unfortunately, you're right, but he is a Red. So
I don't think it mattered. Like with the roster you had last year, I don't think it mattered.
I'm talking about this upcoming roster.
You think the manager is going to matter in regards to whether or not Jordan Walker is developed in the offseason and how much better he is in right field?
I think having a guy who has been in the game of baseball for longer than I've been alive, I would like to have him as my manager.
So my thought process on that is it's always when people say, oh, you don't have any experience, we can't hire you. Idiot, I can't get experience if you don't hire me. Like, that's the only way to gain experience. You learn from the mistakes that you make. And I think Ali has, I would assume that the mistakes that he made and has made, I'm sure he can count them and has kept track of them, will hopefully not make those same mistakes as he has in the past. But then you also look at the things that you have done well and you build on those. I think that's part of being a coach or being a manager. It's learning from your mistakes, figuring out what you do well, what your team has done well, and how to continue to build on those things. I don't know that always just changing the manager. The Blues played outstanding last night. I don't know if they're going to continue that or if we're going to see kind of the lackluster effort that we've seen in third periods tomorrow or in 2 games or in 5 games. I don't know. But I know they looked really good last night. But then my question would be, well, where the hell was that? Because I don't know what Jim Montgomery brought in 2 days and said, hey, this is where you're messing up at. That's a player issue. So for me, the players have to play better. I think the managerial situation that the Cardinals have right now, I don't have an issue with it. I thought he had a really good season. People will blame or will contribute that first season to Yachty and Albert and everybody else. and then they'll blame him for the second year. But again, I think he's going in the right direction to figuring things out. And I think the front office is finally on board with him and saying, hey, we got to get these guys that you do have better. If we're not going to bring new guys in, we better figure out a way to make these guys better so that they can compete on a daily basis.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I think to compare it to the Blues, Drew Bannister, according to Doug Armstrong, it wasn't about essentially his performances because you had a better guy out there.
Yeah.
Like, get the better guy. Or, and it's as simple as that.
Right.
And Ollie Marmol, he got a vote for third place for manager of the year. I thought Ollie Marmol managed better this year than he did last year. So there is improvement in that category. But, if we're talking about being cutthroat, that is a move where you be cutthroat and you go out and get a better manager.
Right.
Because it's just not working.
Well, you did.
And that's maybe it's not his fault, but that's the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
But that's not the way they're going. So
that's Andrew Marsh. He's got what's trending next on 101 ESPN.
what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show, and he doesn't know if he wants to play yet next season. Probably shouldn't, but he said that New York would be my first option. So the question I have is, Aaron Rodgers, if you're Aaron Rodgers, why would you want to go back to New York and play for the Jets? And if you're Jets, why would you want Aaron Rodgers to be your quarterback next season?
Here's my thoughts on those two questions. The Jets last week kind of indicated that they're not sure about bringing back Rodgers, right? Didn't Woody Johnson, the owner, essentially say like, yeah, or at least the reports were that he's not keen on bringing him back.
He wanted to bench him, I believe.
So this is without being there, it's total speculation on my part, right? Reckless speculation on my part. Aaron Rodgers is now like, yeah, I don't know if I want to play now.
They don't want you.
They don't want you. They don't want you. And Green Bay didn't really want you toward the end, which is why they were fine
letting you walk.
Out of there. Because you're a bit of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I think he wants to stay in New York, babe. If I'm the Jets, I don't need to see this again.
No.
Your first year, we had so much hype. We were so excited.
Right.
Tore your Achilles, fourth play. Mm-hmm. Unfortunate. Man, that stinks.
Yep.
Come in the second year, so excited, and now your play just stinks.
Yes.
Like, I don't necessarily need to see that. I don't need to run it back. I don't. There's nothing that you've shown on film if I'm the New York Jets that I need to see again.
No.
Like, I've seen enough. And that's no disrespect. He's a Hall of Famer. But these last 2 years haven't gone in the way that anybody in New York expected it to go.
No.
It's been bad. You've traded for all of the guys you said you needed.
Right.
You've gotten rid of the head coach. I don't know if you did personally, but they have gotten rid of the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not good.
Right.
Like, no disrespect, but you're not good.
I feel like there's a lot of disrespect there.
Yeah,
like
I don't mind
disrespect.
Disrespecting Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe not from Carey, definitely from Anthony.
Yeah, definitely. I would just say this. GTS. Get to stepping.
Oh, I thought you said get to Shador.
Oh, do you think that? What? Okay, let's do something real quick. Which teams will Dion not let Shador play for?
Oh,
the Jets probably.
That's number one.
The Giants.
The Giants. New York. You know.
Yeah.
What about the Raiders?
I can see him allowing him to play for the Raiders. So Dion was obviously. Dion was drafted by the Falcons. He went to the 49ers. He played with the Cowboys. He played with the Ravens. He played with the then Washington Redskins, now Commanders.
Who needs a quarterback? Cleveland.
Tennessee.
No. Tennessee.
Cleveland.
No.
Giants, Jets.
Oh, man.
Let's see.
Jaguars are set. Cowboys.
They're not really set, but they got no choice.
They paid him. They're there. He's there for a few more years.
Well, yeah, let's go through
Cowboys.
What about the Saints?
The Saints could use one.
They need one.
You think they move on from Derek Carr?
Oh,
I think they would if they could. Yeah.
Definitely not going to Cleveland.
Seattle at some point.
Seattle at some point, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's
all the teams.
The Jets and Giants
he could play for.
Why would you want them? Why would you want them to go there?
You wouldn't.
Cowboys, I think, but they're not. They just paid Dak $60 million a year.
What if
there's no way to move on from that?
Hear me out here.
Hear me roar.
Anthony, you said earlier that you think. Good job.
You know that one?
You said that the San Francisco 49ers should start losing.
Well, no, I said what it could benefit if they. It could mostly benefit them if they continue to lose.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't think they should try.
Right. You never want to try to lose. You just stink and you lose.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you see a scenario where maybe he goes to the 49ers and they decide to maybe move away from Brock Purdy and not pay him all that money?
I don't know how. Yeah, they're going to have to really lose. I mean, if they get into the top 10.
Unless he says, I'm not going to 4 or 5 of these places.
Right.
Which is a probability.
Yeah.
Like he could.
I would love to see. I know it's not going to happen, but I would love to see Shedeur and Deion say, "Hey, listen, wherever he's drafted, that's where he's going to play."
No,
and he's going to turn it around.
Why the hell would he say that?
Because it's a pride thing.
What?
No.
There are some places that cannot be turned around. Do you think he can go to Carolina right now and turn that around?
No.
Do you think he can go to New York, Jets or Giants, and turn it around?
No.
But where is he going to go and use? He's drafted in the top 5, and you're like, that's the one.
Kansas City.
You know what? Well, they not drafted in the top 5. The reason you draft in the top 5 is because you stink.
I know.
One man can turn that around.
I mean, there's really only a few options.
Help turn it around.
New
Orleans.
Part of it. New Orleans is one of them. In Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah.
And then my 49ers take, which is such a long shot, but I think it would be
very interesting. It would be interesting.
Wouldn't be disappointed in that. It depends. I mean, I don't know if any teams are going to move up, because to move up to draft them, like someone keeps texting, I just second or third text we've got saying the Steelers. No.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
It would be awesome.
Actually, I could see that.
But do you know how much they're going to have to give up to go up? And that's not the
3
Pittsburgh
drafts.
Steelers.
Who's to say that he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks taken?
He is. He's the first one taken.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's
nobody else.
Nah. I mean, you had Quinn Ewer was one that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Cam Ward at Miami.
Yeah.
Who else am I missing?
I mean, at one point, but it's not going to happen. He's more like a 3rd or 4th round pick now, which would be Carson Beck.
Oh, goodness gracious. No chance.
If he's not a 3rd rounder. It's Shedeur.
It is.
Yeah.
So, top quarterback, but where is he taken?
Number 1.
Number 1
he's
overall?
number 1.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to have an Eli.
Travis.
We're going to have an Eli
1
situation again. We're going to have a John Elway situation.
I would take Travis Hunter over Shedeur Sanders.
They might be 1 and 2.
Yeah. All right, it's Fastline on 101 at ESPN. We got our Sports 6 back next. So if you got a question, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. We'll we'll answer our questions next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues win 5-2 last night over the New York Rangers. They'll take on the New Jersey Devils tomorrow, and you can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. We'll talk with Joe Vitale later in the show at 5 o'clock, so stay tuned for that interview. But coming up next, we have our Sports Six-Pack, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Six-Pack coming your way next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by
Saliga
Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Time for the Sports Six-Pack. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. So if you have a question, great, send it in. Marsh, go.
Question number 1.
From FedEx Colton, would you guys want someone like Matt Rempe on the Blues? I personally love it as a fan. However, he plays like a donkey, brings zero offensive ability. That role is needed sometimes, but rarely. Is the downside worth few times a fight? Is the downside worth the few times a fight is needed?
I would say yes, because Braden Shen is often the one and the only one that is doing the fighting. Not, I'm saying often, not all the time, but often. So I would say yes, because of your current situation, but the texter nailed it. If you're not going to bring anything else to the table, man, that's a roster spot, and you're just kind of waiting for that physicality.
It's important. Yeah, punch people in the face every now and then.
Yeah, that's true.
Let people know not to mess with your people. I'm for it. Sign him up.
I think he's terrible.
Okay. Can he punch people in the face?
Yeah, but so can other players.
Do we have any of those guys?
One.
Do the
Braden
Blues?
Shen.
Yeah.
I mean, not to his caliber, but it's a wasted spot on your team.
It's a skill set.
This isn't 2005 going back to every other year of existence. The game of hockey has been played. Like, this is a different game now.
Yeah.
And I'd rather have my fourth line full with the players that we saw last night.
How many goals he got in his career?
In his career? Well, I'll tell you how many he has this year, and that's 0.
Okay. Bolduc just had 0. He scored 2. He's a hockey player.
He's got 1 goal in his career in 21 games played.
That's it.
His average time of ice is last year's it was 538. This year it's 626 in 4 games.
Oh, so he's not playing that much.
No, he's fine. Don't get me wrong. When he goes to fight somebody, the entire arena erupts. They love him. They love him in New York.
Butts and seats?
Absolutely. So from an entertainment value, yes.
There you go.
But with today's game, I don't find value in Matt Rempe. I find value in a Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson can beat the brakes off of you and also put the puck in the back of the net. I value a guy like that. Matt Rempe in particular,
Not so much. All right. Fair enough. That's a no from Marshy.
Question number 2.
From the 636, Carey, have you played on Thanksgiving before? If so, does it suck because you can't be with family, or is it actually fun to play a holiday game?
I don't remember.
Oh, come on.
I don't. I feel like...
Come on, Carey.
I don't remember. I don't think so. No. I'm going to say no. But I played Thursday night. Not the same as Thanksgiving. It's weird. When you are, obviously Thanksgiving, I'm in Pittsburgh, my family is here. They all don't come up. And so you're kind of sitting at your house apartment But you end up going to the Shea Towns and his family would have something, or Hines. I would go to their house. Like you figure it out, but it's kind of weird because you still have to work. Like it's not like everything else. We don't get that day off.
Yeah.
You got to go to work.
Really?
Oh no.
Really?
It's a work day. So
Yeah,
even
you
if
guys
you're
are
not practicing, I mean, if you're not playing, you still practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You figure out dinner later. You got to practice in the morning. Work. Got to go to work. And then when the work day is over, you get to enjoy some food.
Should we come to work on Thursday?
You won't catch me here.
Well, we don't work in the morning, so.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, the NFL teams, they practice in the mornings.
That's true.
So,
Yeah, you won't catch me here. Hey, tomorrow either.
What?
I won't be here.
What?
Yeah.
News to us.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's going to be Jamie for an hour, and Marsh and I got you for the rest of the 2 hours, and then we got an early pregame for the Warriors.
You guys get off early on Wednesday. Look at that.
Don't you dare.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Question number 3.
From the 618, is it too early to call the Monty change a culture change?
Yes.
Yes, it is too early.
It's one game. Do it 5 games, 10 games. Let's see what December looks like. Can I get a whole month?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll give you a whole month.
All right.
Yeah. All right. It's too early. That's our official fast lane take.
Question number 4.
Anthony, your favorite weekend is upon us.
Yes.
This is from the Water Boy. Black Friday is obviously this Friday. Are you guys going shopping at 5 a.m.? Are you sleeping in? Or are you guys getting together to knock out a Gridiron Guys podcast episode?
Yeah, I think we got one scheduled for Friday. Yeah, absolutely. I have worked a Black Friday from a retail standpoint. Before I got into radio, I worked in retail. And it sucks to wake up that early, get there, and be ready to go. I remember going to a Pistons game and then like going home and basically going to bed so I can wake up in a couple of hours to get to Best Buy as I work for Best Buy. Not fun. And I've never participated from a shopping standpoint. No, I said this a couple weeks ago. This is my favorite weekend because you've got all the sports going on. You've got football Thursday. You got Thanksgiving.
Got Maction tonight, right?
You got Maction tonight.
What a tone setter!
What a tone setter's right.
Start the week off right.
Yeah, you got hockey tomorrow.
You got all this. You got all this sports going on, and then on Friday I typically do the lights outside, and then on Saturday we've got 2 trees. One kind of the more formal one in the family room, and then the other one I set it up and I let the kids decorate it. And it's just fun, man. I enjoy it. I drink for 4 straight days. Eat great food. Watch football. I mean, come on. American dream.
What more could you ask for?
Yeah. So no, I'm not going to participate in the shopping. But yeah, new Gridiron Guys podcast probably drops on Friday of next year.
It's 2025. January.
Well,
we'll do it for the playoffs.
Well, season recap.
Yeah, we'll do a season recap, and then we'll do the playoffs, right, Carey?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
Okay, yeah. You're not coming, are you?
Probably not.
Okay.
Question number 5.
From the 618, if you are John Mozeliak, what return would you demand for Arenado?
It all depends. Are you eating some of the contract? If you're eating some of the contract and how much, you're going to get it. You should get a decent prospect haul, and I'm using that term kind of loosely or lightly. Decent prospect haul in return. If you don't eat any of the contract, it's just a salary dump. You'll get something, but it's not going to be some massive return. Hell, you didn't give up much for him when he was in his prime. So I don't think you're in a spot to necessarily demand a big time prospect.
I think I agree with you. It depends on how much of the salary you're willing to eat. And I think it's harder because people know I assume that they know he doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't want to be here, then the trade value goes down because trade him. He don't want to be there. Why would I give you exactly what you're looking for?
Right.
So now you're kind of being held at it, and they're going to give you something in return, but it's probably not going to be a haul or anything that you expect. Nothing that you can, kind of say pinpoint and say this is going to be something great in for 3-4 years.
The other issue here too, guys, is that the market's not going to be that big. He's not going to waive his no trade clause to go to a non-contender.
To the Pirates?
No, he's not going to he's not going to waive his no trade clause to go to somebody that doesn't have a future over the next 3 years, because that's his contract. He is, and we'll get into this later. He apparently is willing to. Let's get into it next. We'll tell you what's going on with Nolan Arenado. The latest, what he's willing to do to move on, and what the Cardinals could expect to get in return. That's next on 101 ESPN. Hey, if you've got time this weekend, head out to Herculaneum. Look at brand new vehicles and also some pre-owned vehicles at great prices and outstanding financing rates. It's all courtesy of Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. They've got their Black Friday everyday event, and it goes through December 2nd. So it doesn't end on Friday, but it will end December 2nd. So you want to hop on it right now. Low finance rates available on brand new vehicles like Pathfinders and Rogues. 0% APR on Pathfinders and Rogues. 0.9% APR on Frontier. Plus no payments for 3 months, available on select new Nissans at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Brand new Nissan Kicks are now priced around $20,000. Brand new Nissan Sentras now priced around $23,000, both with low payment options for all credit types. That's right. If you have good credit, no problem. If you have maybe some shaky credit, no problem. They'll finance the vehicle for you at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Plus, new Nissans and select used vehicles come with their complimentary lifetime warranty. Plus, select new Nissans come with their complimentary maintenance plan, as well as a 30-day return promise. If you're not completely satisfied with the vehicle, bring it back within 30 days, and they'll refund the money and also set you up with something else. Over 700 new and used vehicles all in one location. It's the largest and best used selection in St. Louis. You're bound to find the perfect vehicle to match your lifestyle and your budget. It's all available at AutoCentersNissan.com and Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Katie Wu of The Athletic put together a recent article detailing what Nolan Arenado is willing to do to become attractive to other teams, including switching positions. Oh, that sounded strange.
I said this months ago. Did I not say this?
What'd you say?
I said maybe the Cardinals should move him to
the Dodgers?
No, position-wise.
First base?
Yes.
Why would
laugh?
Yeah, but why would you take Nolan Arenado from third base and move him to first?
Because you're getting rid of Paul Goldschmidt and you're creating room for another player to play third.
But you also need more positions open. Besides just, what was that?
That was my phone.
What was that?
It was a song.
What song was it?
Classic R&B.
I don't know. It was a song.
Is that Bedroom by Carey Davis?
Anyways, see, for me, if I'm acquiring Arenado, I don't want to move him to first base. At the very least, I want his glove. His offensively, he's been dipping. Now, I understand why, from your standpoint, it's like if you move on from Goldschmidt, you can create. Yeah. But you're creating an open spot at first base.
Well, to me, the glove works. If it works on the left side of the field, it can work on the right side of the field.
Absolutely, but I don't think there's. I feel like I can find a first baseman
for sure
easier than I can find a third. Maybe not.
Now, why is he willing to? Does this? I mean, is that a sign that he's ready to get the hell out of here?
Well, no, I think for him, I actually think it's smart. For him, if there's a contender that already has a third baseman, but not a first baseman, for him to say, hey, I'm willing to move positions, I think that's smart. But let's keep in mind what both parties want. The Cardinals want as much of his money off their books, and they want to create an open spot, i.e. third base, for one of their younger players. Probably Nolan Gorman. So that's what the Cardinals want. It's pretty clear. Nolan Arenado wants to play for a contender. And to his credit, he hasn't really changed his mind on that. It's why he wanted to come to St. Louis. But now that the Cardinals are transitioning to a team that's quote-unquote retooling, he want out. Okay. So how do you increase your value, especially when your offensive numbers have dipped over the last couple of years? You tell a team that you're willing to move to first base if need be. Now, maybe he doesn't have to. But we just got done talking about this from a market standpoint. Not every team is going to be eligible. One, not every team is going to want to take on that contract. Two, not every team is going to have a position for Nolan Arenado. And three, not every team is going to be of interest to Arenado. You can strike it. You could probably cross off 20 of the 30 teams.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is a team that is a viable option? A team that needs that player and a team that is willing, that he's willing to go to.
Correct.
Because those two things do have to match up.
The Phillies have been the team that everyone keeps kind of circling.
So they have Alec Bohm.
Yeah.
They would have to move on from Bohm. I don't know if you create a spot for Arenado by getting rid of Bohm. I think he would love to play with the Dodgers, but I don't know if they have room for him. What about the Yankees?
You'd have to move Jazz off of third.
You could. He's played some second base. He's played some outfield. If you move on from Gleyber Torres, you can free up a spot there. I don't know if I'm the Yankees, I'm interested in pitching. I'm not interested in adding another bat, but there's a contender for you. Baltimore doesn't. No, he's fine. I'm just saying you can create another spot.
I'm just asking.
I'm just answering. If the Astros move on from Bregman, like if Bregman goes someplace else because he's a free agent, maybe that's a spot for Nolan Arenado.
How much salary are the Cardinals going to have to keep if that's the case? If they move on from Nolan Arenado, how much is going to entice another team to say, okay? Because and the reason why I asked that, because it's not like this is not the end of the 22 season where he was third in MVP voting.
Yeah.
It's not 23 season where he was better than last year. Last year it wasn't, and he struggled. I think he struggled to start off the 23 season and got better as the season went on. Last year it was, the power numbers were all the way down.
Yeah.
Like the slugging was down. And so if I am a team, I guess my question is, what am I getting? And what am I getting? I'm getting Gold Glove caliber third base.
Right.
Okay. And offensively, what am I getting?
You're getting this is okay, so that's a great question, Carey, because we often don't look at it from the other team's perspective.
Yeah.
Another team is probably going to be willing to take on Arenado, but not the contract. So the Cardinals may have to settle for eating the majority of the contract, but getting a better prospect in return.
And is that something? So you think the more money that they eat, the better prospect they will get?
Correct. That's typically how it works out.
All right. I mean,
if a team is willing to eat all of the contract, then you're not going to get jack.
It's not my money.
Nothing. Right.
Well, maybe it is our money.
You know what team that would be You know what team that I'd be interested with the Cardinals trading with, and I don't know if this would be something this team would be interested in, but the Mariners make a lot of sense. Dylan Moore can play third base or second base. Arenado, even though the numbers are down, he would still be an upgrade for their offense. They would need offense, and this is a team that clearly can draft and develop pitching. So I'd be interested in getting, you're not going to get one of the pitchers that we've thrown out there before, but I'd be interested in getting one of the Mariners' pitching prospects and Arenado move on to Seattle.
Hey, it's going to be interesting to see because, again, I want to see how other people view him, right? You watched him play this year. You know he was batting cleanup, and then you're like, well, why is he? Yeah. Well, why is he batting? He should be.
He was great.
Yeah, because they're listening.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
He's a stud. I hate to see him, go on for. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You know.
You don't think they have?
That's Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's Fast on 101 ESPN. We got the Gauntlet next.
warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
All right, time for the Gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 402. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh. And after we had an Eric over the last couple of Gauntlets, we have a new Eric right now. What's up, Eric?
How's it going, guys?
Doing great, man. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing today. Would you like to take on Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, or me?
Give me Marsh.
Okay. He wants Marsh.
All right.
Let's do this. Let's do this, Aki. All right. Go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel. We'll find out what category you get.
Go ahead, spin that wheel, Marsh.
All right, Marsh is getting ready to spin it. And there we go. Marsh, get out. Eric, what are we hoping for?
I don't care. Give me anything.
Okay.
Anything.
Right. Good strategy. Good strategy. What do we got?
Well, what do we have here? Oh, my favorite sport, football.
Okay. How do you feel about football, Eric?
I'll take it. I'll give it a whirl.
Okay.
I guess I could have got it.
Thank you. No, that's okay. That's all right,
kind of lazy
Carey.
on my
No,
behalf.
you're fine. You're fine.
I apologize.
All right, 4 questions, all football related, Eric. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. If you don't need the options, you get it right, you get 2 points. Sound good?
Yep, sounds good, guys.
Okay, here we go. Question 1. Tony Gonzalez spent the majority of his career with Kansas City, but number 88 also logged how many seasons in Atlanta?
I believe it was 2.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 2. Josh Jacobs just scored 3 touchdowns and rushed for 106 yards in Green Bay's 38-10 win over San Francisco. Where did the Packers lead back play college football?
Alabama. Final answer.
All right, Eric, can you tell us the name of the CFL squad that Warren Moon led to 5 straight Grey Cups before he joined the NFL?
I need the options on this one.
All right. Montreal Alouettes, Edmonton Eskimos, or Hamilton Tiger Cats?
I'm going to say the Alouettes. Final answer.
All right, final question. Final question. Archie Griffin of Ohio State remains the only 2-time Heisman winner. What was his position?
Quarterback. Final answer.
All right, we'll get Marshy back
All right,
in
we'll
here.
bring back Marsh from the cone of silence here. Eric, how you feeling? Okay. Yeah, we'll see if it holds up. All right, Marsh is coming back in.
I didn't tell him to come back. I didn't know if you did.
No, he's fine.
He saw it.
He'll be all right. Yeah.
Good man, Marshy.
Way to go, Marshy. All right, Marsh, how's cone of silence?
Oh, it was good. It was just playing with that little punching bag that that Ryder has. Just kept slapping it. It's like slapping the Franzia, you know, slap the bag.
Okay. Marsh, are you ready?
Yeah.
Your category today is football.
Okay.
Here we go.
Pack a lunch.
Okay.
Tony Gonzalez spent the majority of his career with Kansas City, but number 88 also logged how many seasons in Atlanta?
Oh, man. I'm going to need the options on that one.
Sure. 2, 4, 5.
I was thinking 3. Do I want to go above 3 or do I want to go below 3? Let's go with 4. Final answer.
Question number 2. Josh Jacobs just scored 3 touchdowns and rushed for 106 yards in Green Bay's 38-10 win over San Francisco. Where did the Packers lead back play his college football?
Oh, man. I believe he went to Alabama. Final answer.
Can you tell us the name of the CFL squad that Warren Moon led to 5 straight Grey Cups before he joined the NFL?
Jeez. Two teams come to mind, maybe the Alouettes and the Argonauts, but let's narrow those options down.
Montreal Alouettes, Edmonton Eskimos, Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm going to go with the Montreal Alouettes. Final answer.
Question number 4. Archie Griffin of Ohio State remains the only 2-time Heisman winner. What was his position?
Archie Griffin. Let's go with running back. Final answer. Not my era.
All right, let's go over these. Eric versus Marsh today in the Gauntlet.
Don't feel good about this one.
Well, let's see how you did. Tony Gonzalez spent the majority of his career with Kansas City. But number 88 also logged how many seasons in Atlanta? Marsh, you took the options. You wound up with 4. Eric did not say the options. He wound up with 2.
Oh, no.
You wanted 3. Correct answer is?
Yeah, it's 5.
5. Oh. 5 seasons, yeah. I believe it was 09, 10, 11, 12, 13.
I didn't know it was that many.
Yeah. Okay, so 0-0. Josh Jacobs just scored 3 touchdowns and rushed for 106 yards in Green Bay's 38-10 win over the 49ers. Where did the Packers' lead back play college pigskin? Eric, you said Alabama. Marsh, you said Alabama. Correct answer is?
Alabama.
Neither of you needed the options. Nice job, guys. 2-2. Can you tell us the name of the CFL squad that Warren Moon led to 5 straight Grey Cups before he joined the NFL? You guys both said the Montreal Alouettes. Correct answer is?
Yes, the Edmonton Eskimos.
Edmonton Eskimos was the correct answer. So we still have a 2-2 tie. Comes down to this.
Oh, no.
Archie Griffin of Ohio State remains the only 2-time Heisman winner. What was his position?
Carey seems disappointed.
Eric,
by that groan.
You said quarterback.
I'm just breathing.
Marsh, you said running back. You did not sound confident.
No.
If it's quarterback, Eric wins. If it's running back, Marsh wins. If it's literally any other position, we have a walk-off. Correct answer is?
Archie Griffin. He was a running back.
Eric.
Oh!
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. Not today.
Got you 4-2 today, Eric. Sorry, bud.
Oh, that's all right. Hey, you guys have a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you
as
too.
well,
Happy
Eric.
Thanksgiving
Thanks
to
for
you and
playing.
yours. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
All right, we'll see you. Marsh, nice
Marshy.
job there. You weren't overly confident, but you did it,
Yeah,
pal.
I thought he may have been a running. I knew he wasn't a quarterback, but I didn't know if he I just knew he wasn't a quarterback. So I figured, well, I don't know what other position is winning a Heisman other than a running back or a quarterback.
Especially back in the day.
Yeah.
It's quarterback or running back. That's it.
Good job, Marshy.
Thank you. Yeah, and I don't have to sit for 2.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Fortunately, not.
What are you doing? What are you doing, sir?
Thought it was safe to talk about.
Well, what were you going to say?
Nothing. Can't say it. You can't say it.
Okay, all right.
It's the announcer's jinx.
Okay.
We only have one more day left. You won't even be here.
Yeah,
So
okay,
what are you going to
have
say,
at it.
Anthony?
Have at it.
Yeah, no. CD's right.
No, he was going to say, yeah.
CD's right. Absolutely, yeah. All right, Marsh, you just won the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Which means it's time for your game notes.
Oh.
Your NFL game notes. Next on 101 ESPN. All I was going to say is we've avoided the penalty box. Time for Andrew Marsh's Week 12 NFL game notes. The 3 things that Marshy Marsh picked out from Week 12 in the NFL. Marsh, go.
All right. My first note is that the Houston Texans are not the same team that we saw last year. And I'm thinking maybe, I know, right? Very shocking. I think last season, because of the expectations being so low, we allowed ourselves to just enjoy what we were seeing out of C.J. Stroud. But now that they won the division, they won a playoff game, those expectations coming into this year definitely have been higher. They're higher. You bring in Stephon Diggs. Nico Collins is emerging as one of the best wideouts in the game. Now, they have been dealing with injuries and such, but, man, they're not the same team that I was hoping that they would be. It's sort of disappointing, to be honest. I have no faith in them come playoff time. I still think they're a playoff team based on their division, but to me, they're a first-round exit.
They're fortunate that they play in the AFC South, or else we'd be talking about them collapsing. But because they play in the AFC South, you're right, they're still going to make the playoffs. But this is a one-and-done team unless they figure out their issues. Will Levis outplayed C.J. Stroud on Sunday, and he threw a pick six. He outplayed. Levis outplayed him.
Yeah, I should have saw this coming too, because I didn't think Will Levis played all that bad last week against the Vikings.
Yeah,
he had one interception, which was at the end of the game. But the way that he was throwing the ball down the field, we saw that last week or a couple days ago against the Texans. I think that could have been one of those games where we're like, okay, I could totally see the Texans upsetting the Titans upsetting the Texans. Clearly, none of us actually had the cojones to do that.
No way. I didn't think that was going to happen.
No. Stroud is 32nd in passer rating, 30th in EPA per dropback with a minus 0.09 in the last month. He has not played well. He's taking a step back. It's basically how you
a gasoline or something.
Yeah, it's a gasoline. Yeah, yep. So really what it is like when a quarterback goes to pump gas, it's a metric to determine how well they pump said gas.
I thought it was errors per a-hole.
No.
Like how many times a player who's not doing well makes a mistake.
Efficiency pump assets.
Gotcha.
That's what it is. Yeah, he's not good at it, which affects his play on Sunday.
Yeah.
Not great.
And it's disappointing,
he's also been sacked
too.
39 times.
Well, that is probably more of a hindrance than his gas pumping efficiency.
Yeah. That's more than... That's more than any other quarterback outside of Caleb Williams, who has been sacked, I think, 487 times.
The damn quarterback, man. It's funny, but it's not.
No, it's not.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Environmental Protection Agency.
That's right.
That sounds
correct.
He's not being protected. So that's why the EPA is low.
That's why the EPA is low.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's disappointing,
it's all
too.
coming together, guys.
Yeah.
Like, Joe Mixon is way better than the option they had last year.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're still not finding the success or more success than what I thought that they had last year. It's just, to me, it's disappointing. I like the Texans.
They're more talented this season than they were a year ago.
Yeah.
By a long shot. Now, I know they haven't been healthy the entire year, but yeah, still from efficiency standpoint, they've taken a step back.
My second game note, and this kind of ties into what we just talked about, C.J. Stroud, great first year, struggling in his second year. Bryce Young struggled in his first year, struggled at the beginning of this year, but I thought his game has definitely looked better since his benching. Do you think that Bryce Young is now the definition of needing to have patience with a quarterback? Because I saw some of his throws this past week against the Chiefs. Man, those were some great throws down the field. I think we're starting to see what we saw when he was in college at Alabama. Do you think that that's the case here? Just give this quarterback a little bit of time, let him sit, let him watch, and then go back out there and play?
So I think he has played better. I think the addition, well, not the addition, but the Chuba Hubbard playing as well as he's played has been part of their success. Like he's been running the ball really well, catching the ball out of the backfield. He only had 16 carries this past weekend, and Bryce Young threw 35 times. I would probably like to have that flipped. I'd rather have Chuba Hubbard running the ball 25 to 30 times and Bryce Young throwing it 15 to 20 times. I think it just gives you a better chance to win. But when you're down, you're trying to get back in the games. But, yeah, I think he's figured some things out. They moved on from Deontay Johnson, which maybe that helped. I don't know. Like you got Leggett, who is there, and then Adam Thielen just came back from injury. So I think he is getting better. With young quarterbacks, it's about learning where to put the ball and trusting everything that you're seeing instead of waiting to see it open. Like there's a level of trust that you have to have as a young quarterback. Caleb Williams is starting to figure that out. You can't throw it when he's open. You have to throw it before he's open. And I think as a younger player, that transition from college to the NFL is a hard thing because in college, that guy is going to be wide open.
Right.
In the NFL, that defender is going to be in his hip pocket. You got to get the ball out and allow him to make a contested catch.
Yeah.
And he's probably figuring that part out right now.
It's not easy for every Jaden Daniels or every C.J. Stroud a year ago, or name the quarterback who made kind of an easy, quote unquote, easy transition from college to NFL. There's thousands of guys who didn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
and even those guys, every guy you named has had some form of struggle. Jaden Daniels is kind of going through his now.
True.
Lamar Jackson had to figure some things out, but he's a 2-time MVP. Like all of these guys have to kind of make that transition and figure it out. Some people it takes longer than others. Some people figure it out. They go through a rough time in their first year. Some C.J. Stroud going through the rough time in his second year. But it's all about transitioning and figuring things out.
Peyton Manning threw how many interceptions his rookie year?
Led the league in interceptions.
It's like 34.
He threw a lot.
It was ridiculous.
He's giving the ball to the other team.
But year later, winds up a stud, and he never looked back. I think that. Yeah, I think we do have to have patience. I don't know if Daniel Jones has the processing and all that.
So you know what's going to happen to Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones or Bryce Young?
Bryce Young, but didn't you bring up Daniel Jones?
Not yet.
Oh.
I'm about to.
Oh, go ahead. We'll get to it.
So Daniel Jones.
Look at you.
Daniel Jones. It turns out that the Giants still stink without Daniel Jones as they lost 30.
Tommy DeVito stepped up.
Well, Anthony, they lost they lost 30-7 over the weekend to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Daniel Jones has been rumored to go to some teams. And one of those is my Minnesota Vikings.
Hey.
Not sure if I love that. But can Daniel Jones be another revitalized quarterback? We've seen Sam Darnold have success this year. Geno Smith has had success in Seattle. Baker Mayfield, another guy that has flipped his career around. Can Daniel Jones be in that same conversation if he goes to a team and does what Sam Darnold did, where he is a backup but is around a good organization? Can he be a guy like that, or is he just Daniel Jones and he stinks?
Does he get with Kevin O'Connell? Does he get with Sean McVay? Does he get with Kyle Shanahan? I think that's pivotal. If he doesn't, if he winds up going to, let's say, like the Raiders, who need a quarterback, and he's like, hey, I just want to start, then I think he's going to get bounced out of the league pretty quickly. He'll have his 1 or 2 years there, and then that's it. They'll run him out. But if he winds up in a spot like Sam Darnold did, like Baker Mayfield did, like who else? There's at least one more. Well, Geno, you brought up Geno Smith.
Yeah.
If he winds up in a spot like that where it's like, hey, the system's there, quarterback whispers there,
Jameis,
you're good. If not, no, he's gonna get run. Yeah, famous Jameis. Stefanski knows what he's doing. He just doesn't.
Jameis Winston.
He's hilarious.
Kevin Stefanski knows what he's doing, unless you give him Deshaun Watson, who doesn't care.
Wow. I think Daniel Jones will land somewhere. We've seen that's a terrible organization at this point. You let Saquon go, they're all getting fired at some point. Like, I watched when the owner says, yeah, I'm going to be sick if Saquon goes to Philadelphia. Can you imagine being in his home watching that game the other night? when Saquon rushes for 255 and
do you think he's been hate watching?
I think he's been.
Or like envy watching.
If I'm him and I'm watching, there's smoke coming out of my ears because I asked you not to let him do that. Didn't I tell you I was going to have a tough time sleeping if I had to watch Saquon go to Philadelphia and have success?
Do you think Saquon has the same season, though, if he's in New York?
Hell no.
So, like...
But you don't want him to go have that season for your rival either.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Saquon's a special player. 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns.
He's not rushing for 255 with the Giants.
No, because they got other guys.
There's no Jalen Hurts. Right. There's no A.J. Brown. There's no, when he's healthy, Devontae Smith.
You know who should have been at the office is Daniel Jones. Like, hey, what are we doing? We got to keep him.
Yeah, when they said we're paying we're paying the quarterback $40 million, we don't want to just hand the ball off. Daniel Jones would be, hey, pay me the 40. I'll hand it off to him. It's cool. It's cool.
Ah, man. No, they're all getting fired.
Yeah, big time.
Yes.
And I honestly, I feel bad for Brian Daboll. I don't think he's that bad of a head coach.
No.
Maybe not head coach. I don't think he's a bad coach. I think he had success in Buffalo with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And they made the playoffs the first year.
With Josh Allen.
All right.
Like, that's a...
But every coach, there's never been a head coach that has had a lot of success without a quarterback.
Yeah, but you're going to have more success when you got a real quarterback.
Definitely. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard to evaluate a head coach without the quarterback. Like, Don Shula had Dan Marino.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson had Troy Aikman. Belichick had Brady.
Yeah.
Walsh had Montana.
I think what I feel the worst about for Brian Daboll is that he never got his own quarterback. He never got a chance because he's probably going to be fired this year. Like, let's be honest. He never got his own quarterback. He inherited Daniel Jones.
He signed up for that when he took the job.
That's fair.
Ben Johnson said he had clearly said no, thank you.
Yeah.
To whoever, whatever.
He said, "Go fast on yourself. I'm not going there.
I'll wait. Give me one more cycle, and now he's going to be the top guy sought after this offseason.
Yeah,
because they're smoking everybody.
Yes, they are
in Detroit.
College Football Playoff Committee. Marsh asked whether or not the committee can screw this up tonight. I'm going to ask. Well, Marsh actually asked, is it possible for the College Football Playoff Committee to get it wrong tonight? My question is, can they get it right? Is it even possible for them to get it right? Explain why next on 101 ESPN. Well, if you're a regular listener to us here in the Fast Lane, you've heard these commercials before. You have heard my guy Stewie talk about different scenarios that impact real people. So, for example, if you're looking for your dream home, and maybe you have found it, but you don't know how you're going to get the loan in place, call Stewie. He'll help you out. In fact, he's got the bagel loan, which qualifies you at $200,000 if you're borrowing $200,000 or more. No lender fees, no closing costs, no, small little imprint there. It's like, oh, actually, it's buried deep within the wording of the contract. No, we're talking about no closing costs, no lender fees. You can apply more to the sale price or your offer. You could redo your kitchen, maybe get an add-on to the house or whatever you're looking for, that dream home. Stewie can get you to the closing table quickly. A lot of times within 2 weeks or less. If you got debt, let him help you clear it up. If you don't know if now's a good time to refi, you're reading all about it, or the Federal Reserve, or you're asking buddies, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to refi right now. Call Stewie. Stewie will help you out with these situations. If you got a unique situation, call Stewie. At least let him, tell you, hey, listen, here's what I can do for you, but now's not the time to refi or whatever. Whatever your situation is, Stewie can help. Give him a call, 314-324-4440. That's his personal cell phone number. You're not going to get an operator or anything like that or be on hold for 45 minutes. When you call 314-324-4440, you get his personal number. You can also Google the bagel loan. Let him help you out. He's phenomenal, especially around the holidays. He's Stewart from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation.
NMLS number 226715.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues win in Jim Montgomery's debut as Blues head coach. 5-2 the final against the New York Rangers. They'll take on the New Jersey Devils tomorrow. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. We'll talk with Joe Vitale at 5 o'clock, so stay tuned for that interview. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We're going to dive into the college football playoff rankings as that will be released tonight. We'll see if the committee can get it right. We'll discuss that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
The College Football Playoff Committee will meet tonight. I think it should be fun for the committee to kind of sort through this. But Marsh asked, is it possible for the College Football Playoff Committee to get it wrong tonight? My question is it even possible if they can get things right? This goes back to our conversation yesterday, Carey. I think the first three teams, pretty easy.
Yeah.
You can go in whatever order you want, but I think the correct order would be Oregon, Ohio State, and Texas.
Yeah.
After that, though, if you're just purely ranking these teams, where do you go at 4? Penn State? You like what they did on Saturday, do you? Against Minnesota?
You might jump Notre Dame ahead of Penn State in terms of where they're ranked. Now, again, once the bracket comes out, they'll still not be one of the top 4. But maybe you jump them ahead of Penn State because they barely beat Minnesota.
Right.
The Minnesota team is a thorn in my side. Sorry, that was personal.
How'd they do against Illinois?
They beat us.
Darn it.
Should have had 2 losses. Now we have 3. But either way, Penn State, maybe you jump Notre Dame ahead of them. They beat up on your Army. You've got me so confused.
Black Knights. They're called the Cadets, but they're the Black Knights.
Black Knights.
Yeah, Army Black Knights.
And so maybe you jump them ahead. The interesting thing for me is going to be, where is Indiana? Because they lost, but they lost to the number 2 team in the country on the road. Bad loss. First half was fine. It was more than fast lane fine. It was actually fine. And then you saw the separation of better athletes on one side in comparison to the other, and there was that's what took place.
Can I throw a small gripe out there too with Cignetti, who we gave a lot of credit to, and rightfully so. I mean, he has got this Indiana team relevant.
Yeah.
I did not like how he played the fourth quarter, where he was really slow playing things after they got the 15 points.
Well, he probably didn't want it to get out of hand.
It's exactly right.
Didn't want it to be.
I got an issue with that. I know you have to play 15. The game, but I hope the committee actually uses that against him.
He probably understands. It's about, because there are some people that are not going to watch the game. They're just going to see what the score is. 38-15.
Right.
Okay. 45-15. They are terrible.
Yeah.
They lost by 30 points. So it's a little bit of gamesmanship going on there.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the 2 best teams in the country are Ohio State and Oregon. You're probably, if things go, I don't know how the brackets are set up, if they would win or if they would see each other. But you'll probably get that game 3 times at some point. And hopefully the third time is the national championship game. But the second time is going to be the Big Ten championship. So those will be, to me, those are the top 2 teams. I'm interested to see what they do with Alabama, because that is a terrible loss to Oklahoma. You score 3 points, that's not good.
You're out.
Yeah. How far out are you? Ole Miss, how far out are you? Texas A&M, not Texas A&M. No, Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. Yeah.
How far out are you? But here's the thing: Texas A&M can still get in, because if they beat Texas this weekend, then they're in the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
So for me, just watching how this all plays out, I'm interested. I really can't wait till the championship game, so I know definitively. Okay, this is the ACC team that's in. Is Clemson in? Do they add another team? Do you get 3 ACC teams, Miami and SMU and Clemson? I'm interested to see how it all plays out.
I don't envy the committee to have to sort through this, because you're not dealing with apples to apples. You're not. You can talk about a team having a certain amount of wins or certain amount of losses, but it's not like they all play the same strength of schedule. And even when you factor in the same strength of schedule, you're still debating between a soft schedule versus multiple losses. Notre Dame is a perfect example of that. Like Notre Dame has got the big win against A&M.
Yep.
Their other big wins, quote unquote, were Navy and Army.
Yeah.
You're weighing Notre Dame, who also lost to Northern Illinois in South Bend, against a 2 or 3 loss, not a 3 loss, but a 2-loss SEC team or Big Ten team. How does Indiana and Ohio State weigh against each other?
So for me, all the Big Ten teams only have 1 loss that are in there, other than Oregon, who has 0 losses.
Right, but Indiana hasn't beaten anybody.
They haven't. But this is what I didn't even realize this until earlier today. Who has Texas beaten?
Nobody.
There you go.
Yeah, they went up to Michigan and beat them.
They beat Michigan. That's probably the biggest. They got Oklahoma on here, but Oklahoma is not. Michigan and Oklahoma are not good teams.
It's a fair point, Carey.
So they beat Vanderbilt. They're not necessarily a good team.
Right.
And they barely beat Vanderbilt. They beat them by 3. Vanderbilt did beat Alabama, but that's their biggest win, is against Michigan or or Oklahoma. I wouldn't put Vanderbilt in there, but they don't have. So that's why for me, when you talk about strength of schedule, they played an SEC schedule, but this is not the same SEC schedule that some of these other teams have played.
Yeah, they're benefiting from the fact that they came in ranked as high as they did. No, there's no question.
So Texas is a team that I look at and say, well, wow, who have they beaten? That and if they win the SEC championship game, obviously they'll have that bye, but they haven't beaten anybody that makes you just stand up and say, oh wow. Now Georgia beat them. Georgia probably has the best resume thus far. They lost to Alabama. They beat this Texas team, but Texas hadn't really been wowing people with their wins. And looking at it now, earlier in the year, I was like, hey, yeah, they're a really good team. But now that you have more information, it's like, are they though? So I think it's all going to be interesting. I think everything will be resolved at some point. Once the championship games are played, everything is laid out. You know, for me, the strength of schedule is cool, who you win, but for who you lose to matters as well.
It's a mess.
It's
a fun mess, but it is an absolute mess.
It's better than having just 4 teams.
It is. Yeah. Because we're not even having the conversations about like the mess. Because the top 3 teams we're still having the debate over like Penn State or Notre Dame. That's not as fun as how far is Alabama going to drop and Ole Miss going to drop and some of these other conversations that we're having. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We'll see what the committee does tonight. Carey Davis has his NFL Week 12 game notes next, including the running back who has entered the MVP conversation. That's next here on 101 ESPN. Time for Carey Davis's Week 12 NFL game notes here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey, I know you wanted to talk about your guy, Saquon Barkley, who I don't know if you saw on Sunday night, but he rushed for 255 yards.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's pretty good.
Hey, that is pretty good. Actually, that's the first point I wanted to make. He's the MVP, in my opinion. I know it is a quarterback award. I would like to see, maybe we can just name the quarterback of the year the Peyton Manning Award. I don't know. Give it, if you're going to always give the MVP to a quarterback, just give the award and make it a quarterback award. And then give the actual MVP to, the next best player. I know they got the offensive player of the year. I don't like it.
Okay.
Because the MVP is the best player in all of football, and his name is Saquon Barkley. He is on pace for 2,000 yards, 2,100 yards to be exact. And he's leading the league in rushing. He has, Anthony, you brought this up a couple of weeks ago, and then it happened, I think, on Thursday night. He's gotten to the 1 yard line like 8 times, fallen short, just short of the goal line. On those times, Jalen Hurts tush pushes it in, so he doesn't have as many touchdowns as he could had he been able to get 1 more yard. But he is playing outstanding. He is about to be the 4th player in history to have 2,000 scrimmage yards for 2 different organizations.
Wow.
That he is
insane.
It's ever. So
Bob.
he has been outstanding. He's done a great job. He catches the ball out of the backfield. They should have only 1 loss had he caught that ball in Atlanta. But no, you still hate the call, but it was a great call.
If they, in fact, if they didn't make that play call and they instead just went ahead and ran it and had Atlanta use their last time out and kicked the field goal, they would have won that game.
They might. Oh, goodness gracious. Whatever. Either way, great.
Oh, is that not how you thought I was going to answer?
Actually, you turned it on me. You.
Yeah.
So, I think he's playing outstanding, playing at an elite level. This is what I said a couple of weeks ago, that why I'm not as worried about Nick Sirianni, because if I can hand the ball off to Saquon, it makes everyone else's life easier, Jalen Hurts included. So for me, he's the MVP of the league, and I don't even think it's, right now, in my opinion, it's not close. Yep. He's playing outstanding. My second point is, the Ravens are 5-0 when Derrick Henry gets 20-plus carries. Now, they got a couple of more wins there when he didn't, but they're definitely going to win when he gets 20-plus carries. They are a really good football team, and it is amazing to me that the 2 best additions this offseason, what position they play?
Running back.
Nah. People told me, you can get a running back in the 6th round. You don't need to pay for a running back. You're an idiot. Not you. Not you. But people that think that way.
You can get a running back in the 7th round.
You can't get these guys.
No.
These guys are difference makers.
Sure.
These guys are the glue that holds an offense together. You pay your running backs. Are they going to get banged up? Maybe. It's part of the nature of the business and the position. Yes. I played running back one game. I said, man, I got things hurting that I didn't even know I had. Man, it hurts. You get hit from everybody. But when you're really good at it and you can do what Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley are doing, it makes your team that much better. The Ravens are a team to be concerned with as they go further on into this season. Now, these 2 teams play each other this week. It's going to be outstanding. But Derrick Henry, when you give him the ball 20-plus times, they're going to win. He's 2nd in the league in rushing. Again, 2 additions this offseason that have changed the trajectory of their teams, not just the offense, their teams, from what they were last year, in my opinion. And then my last point is the Dolphins might be the most dangerous team on the outside looking in. Like, they are sitting here at 5-6. They are winners of their last 3. They had a tough loss against the Bills, where the Bills were kicked a last-second field goal when they played in Buffalo earlier this year, about a month ago. Their schedule for the rest of the season: at Green Bay, a winnable game; at home versus the Jets, definitely winnable; at Houston against the Texans, another winnable; versus the 49ers at home, and then at the Browns and at home against the Jets. At the Jets.
Yeah.
Those are 6 winnable games that they can, 7, excuse me. I can't add 3, 6. I had it right. 6 winnable games that they can finish this season off and finish with an 11-6 record. For a team that has had so many things go wrong, Tua, People were saying he should retire earlier this year. You had the experience of Huntley coming in, and that looked bad, man. You were just like, oh, they can't even move the ball offensively. Tua comes back, first game. Buffalo struggled a little bit. He's gotten better week after week after week, looks much more comfortable. This is a team that is right now at number 8 in the playoff standings that I could easily see moving up past the Broncos team and finishing in that 5th, 6th, or 7th spot. Like they are that for me right now.
All right, so let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture, shall we? Since you brought up the Bills. So as of right now, your teams that would be in, the Chiefs would have the bye. Mm-hmm. The Bills have the 2 seed. Your Pittsburgh Steelers would have the 3 seed. Houston, by virtue of the fact that
somebody got to win the AFC South.
Yeah, and they're 7-5, so they do have a winning record at least. Baltimore would be 5, Chargers 6, and Broncos 7.
I could see them leapfrogging both of those teams.
All 3. It's interesting because all 4 of those teams are playing very well. The Ravens bounced back from their win again, their loss to the Steelers. The Chargers lost last night, but this is still a team that's won, 4 of their last 5 games, I think, right? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4 of their last 5. And they're going to win this Sunday against the Falcons.
Oh, gosh.
Then you've got the Broncos, who have won now 2, they've won back-to-back games. Could have won, it could have easily won the 3rd.
Yeah, lost to the Chiefs.
Had they not had the field goal blocked. They've got the Browns, Colts, Chargers, Bengals, Chiefs. That's going to be an interesting run for them, too.
Yeah.
This AFC, I guess, really to your point, this AFC wild card is going to be fascinating to watch unfold.
I agree.
And you have legit good teams too, or at least teams that are playing very well.
And even the Bengals are not. I think they're number 8 right now.
Yeah, they're 10. They're 10.
But
Dolphins are 8.
Okay, Dolphins are 8, and so the Bengals are 10. But they got the Colts in front of them. They are a team that also, they got a big game this weekend against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So, it's not completely over for them. They got the Steelers, the Cowboys, the Titans, the Browns, the Broncos, and the Steelers again. Mm-hmm. I can see 5 wins there, 4 wins there.
Okay, so the only thing here with the Dolphins, and I think you have the same mindset, but I want to hash this out. Let's say the Dolphins get ahead of the Broncos. Mm-hmm. Just because that's the team ahead of them, it could be the Chargers, but let's just use the Broncos. So this is the Broncos are out. Dolphins move ahead. Mm-hmm. That would mean that they would have to go to Buffalo.
It's a divisional game, though.
And I know they have been okay in the past. Again, they have given Buffalo. They even gave Buffalo a game. Was it Tua's first game back? I think
it was. That's the one I said they lost on a last-second field goal.
There you go. Yeah. And Miami. Granted, when they played Miami, it wasn't pretty, but Tua also went out in the first drive of the second half. At least it'd be a divisional game, but it's cold environment, right?
It is.
That would be my only thing with Miami.
At some point they gotta toughen up and get past that.
I'm with you, but certain teams are not built for cold weather.
At some
We've
point,
seen it.
mentally, you gotta say, fast lane that. Mm-hmm. I don't care what the temperature is.
Yeah.
Both teams are playing in it. Yeah, the Bills are a cold weather team. They are outside. It is what it is, man. You want to win a championship, you're probably going to have to go through a cold city if you don't have home field advantage.
Yeah, because if Pittsburgh wins the AFC North, that's a cold game.
It's cold.
Chiefs cold, Bills cold, Steelers cold.
Yeah.
Ravens would be cold if they were to win the AFC North. Houston, no. LA,
get
no.
to 5 and play Houston.
Yeah.
At Houston.
Which could be still in play. If you go on the NFC side, Lions are in a dome. Philly would be cold. Seattle would be cold.
It gets cold.
Yeah.
Atlanta's a dome.
AFC, you're gonna have to win outdoors in the elements.
Yes.
Kansas City, 5 degrees below.
It's nothing better.
5 below.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony, let me tell you. We both got to deal with it.
Yep.
You show up to that damn stadium with no sleeves on and paint on your face, and you say, let's go.
Yeah.
Who want what? Let's go.
I always liked remember the 49ers went into Green Bay the one year, and all of them, all the 49ers, so the whole talk was obviously they're coming from San Francisco and all that. It's West Coast team, and all of them showed up no sleeves.
Yeah.
And they won.
It's a mentality, man. It's all a mindset.
It is. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. So the Blues are coming off a huge victory last night. In retrospect here, it's a big win. Jim Montgomery, first game, they beat a very good Rangers team with an elite goaltender, and they drubbed them 5-2. Looked like a completely different team last night. One of the men on the call last night was Joe Vitale. We'll get his perspective on the win from last night with Joe next on 101 ESPN. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 5 o'clock. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Carey Davis, Andrew Marshy, Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Thompson and Collier phone line, where our guy Joe Vitale's on the line. What's up, Joe?
What's up, boys? Doing well. How are you?
Well, we're doing great after last night, man. That looked like a completely different team from start to finish last night under Jim Montgomery. But what was your number one takeaway as you're watching it live and in front of you?
Yeah, Stalls, I think energy, man. I mean, just energy on the bench, constant communication. There was this certain amount of communication that, not to say it was lacking under Drew Bannister, but there was just less of it with Drew Bannister. It was more of guys on the bench, coaches patrolling back and forth. And I'm watching, we had a great view of the bench in Madison Square Garden last night, and every TV timeout, every whistle, every offside, every icing, I'm looking, and Jim Montgomery is just, he's up and he's down. He's so active. I mean, he wanted to inject energy in this group, and he physically is injecting energy in this group. He's getting the board out, he's showing guys things. He's talking to Steve Ott. He's talking to Claude Julien. He's moving all the way down, talk to Mike Weber. He's talking even to Jordan Binnington at one time out there about something. So, to me, that was the biggest thing I noticed. This is a coach that has to get this hockey team the belief again that they're a good hockey team. And that's one of the final comments he made in the postgame last night, that this is a good hockey team. And that's the feeling. You got to get that feeling back. And I thought it was a great start for this coach to invigorate some energy into this team, and it certainly showed on the ice.
We got to see a Zack Bolduc sighting. Scored 2 goals, first 2 goals of the season. What did you see from him, and is this just
saw the goals, Carey?
Oh, thank you.
We all did.
Can I ask Joey?
I'm sorry, Carey. That was rude of me.
Joey, what happened? Is it just the time on the ice, more opportunities, or just being more aggressive?
Listen, I think that he was given a really good opportunity for Drew Bannister. I mean, yeah, he's been scratched a little bit here and there, but, he's played a good sample size of games. So I don't know if it's necessarily a player that didn't get an opportunity under one coach and was given this huge opportunity under another. I think that he was given a little sniff at the beginning, and he, of course, playing well. He actually took 2 penalties in that game. So, it didn't really start out terrific for him, but then he gets that first goal, and, we all know it, guys. It's that energy you get. You just get that goal energy, and you're feeling good, and then it continued to build for him. He got another great snapshot there in the third period to really seal the deal, and you're happy for him because it's a young player who cares a lot. He's been working really hard. He's physically matured a ton. You look at his camp a couple of years ago, I think the Blues organization was a little disappointed in how he came in, the shape he came in, the camp that he had. And he's done nothing but just, build his game, respond to the American League, and then, of course, the National Hockey League. So, with his shot, his speed, his physicality, he could be doing that, once every 3-4 games. And they're going to need it. That middle of the pack, that middle line, second line, third line, you're going to need scoring. You're going to need offense from those groups. But you're certainly happy for him. Was it just a different voice? Sometimes that's all we need, right? As we know, you guys, of course, with your families and kids and wives and moms and dads, your loved ones tell you something over and over and over and over. But then when your best friend or your neighbor says something, you're like, hey, my neighbor was just telling me this the other day. Sometimes it's just that fresh voice. Get you away from the monotony of the same discussion by the same people over and over. But it certainly sparked Zachary Bolduc last night. He had a terrific game.
Joe, you just reminded me of trying to coach my kids. I could tell them something, but then as soon as I just say hey, can you just tell Killian this, and they go to tell him oh, it clicks for you now, huh? I've been telling you for a month.
I mean,
I'm hitting too close to home.
How much time you got? My wife came home the other day. She's like, hey, I got the nicest compliment about my hair from so-and-so at church. I'm like, I've told you your hair looks great for the last 6 weeks. She's like, I know, but just means something different. My son, I've been trying to get him. I take these AG1 green powder. It's every morning. I take this stuff. It's supposed to be like a multivitamin. I don't know. I like it.
Right.
And I told my son, who's 12, my daughter, who's 13, 14, they're kind of starting to hit puberty. They're starting to grow a little bit. I'm like, hey guys, throw some in this every morning. And they've been fighting me on it for 5 weeks. And I swear to God, my son comes home from hockey last week. He's like, hey, Dad, Phil McRae at TPH was talking to us about nutrition. I go, yeah, what did he say? He goes, we should really be taking these green powder every morning. I'm like, You don't say. He's like, yeah. So he's like triple scooping. The green chalk all over his lips. He just completely dummy in this green powder. So yeah, sometimes a different voice really helps.
Joe Vitale joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Joe, so of course the next question is like, oh, well, is it going to be? Is this just because you got the new coach bump? You have no idea. We have no idea. We just got to let this play out, right? But if I were to ask you this, what's the number one reason why last night, and if they have a little successor over the next couple of weeks, why it wouldn't just be because of a new coach bump? Like, what's tangible evidence that Jim Montgomery's got this thing pointing in the right direction?
Well, I think the biggest thing, Staltz, because you're right. I mean, who knows? I mean, they're playing a very good Devils team tomorrow. They have a tough portion of the schedule coming up after Thanksgiving where they have to go out to Winnipeg and Edmonton and Calgary. All teams playing great right now. So it's going to be a tough stretch. And they've already put themselves in not the greatest spot, below 500 at this point. But if there were one reason, in my mind, for this coach to get this team back on a really good direction, I think it really comes down to me just the communication of bringing this group together. I think Drew Bannister has his strengths. What I've noticed in his small tenure here, he to me didn't necessarily, I don't think at times, communicate as well as, let's say, like a Jim Montgomery. Jim Montgomery is just special in the sense that there's very few coaches like him. And again, this is no knock on Craig Berube. This is no knock on Drew Bannister or Ken Hitchcock or any of the older coaches that have been here. But what I like about Jim is he does walk that fine line between head coach and assistant coach. There's the head coaches who are just the dictators, and what I say goes, and I'm going to give you the whip, and then I got my assistants to come in and give you a pat on the back and tell you that they love you. Jim is not that way as a head coach, but he's also not a full-blown assistant coach where he's going to give you a hug at every single corner. I had Tony Arenado in Pittsburgh. Tony was just nothing but positive. That was his role as an assistant. But Jim does a great job. He does a great job of obviously being proactive and trying to get the most out of players. We saw him, obviously call out Brad Marchand and David Pastrnak, and he can throw out the whip. But at the same time, I think he's just got such a wonderful personality and such great communication skills where at the same time, he's going to grab players and he's going to bring them in. A small example at the morning skate the other day at the Garden, right before the morning before they played the Rangers, he grabbed every single forward line, the three of them at a time. First line, the three of them, the second line, three of them. And he spent about 2 or 3 minutes at center ice just talking to them. So that to me is where the communication is so good. This is a great hockey team. I mean, they have great goalies, but they're getting healthier. Broberg's been skating. You have household names like, Robert Thomas and, of course, Braden Shen, Jordan Kyrou, Pavel Buchnevich. I mean, Jake Neighbors is an emerging good hockey player. This is a great hockey team. I just think they lost that belief. I think they lost that feeling. And I think that right off the hop, he came in, he invigorated that feeling. He ingested confidence in this group. And I think that through his communication skills, Saltz, I think this is going to keep it going here for a little while.
So, Joe, do you think this is a playoff team, what we saw last night, or do you think there's still more room to grow throughout the rest of the regular season?
I think the best way to answer that is simply the way that, Jim Montgomery addressed it. And I actually think it's not a cop-out answer. It is the only answer, which is he said that I don't really care. I mean, this is about the process. I mean, he got a 5-year deal for a reason. He didn't get brought in on a 2-year deal to turn this thing around slightly now, and then we better be a playoff team and a Stanley Cup contending team next year. This is a contract where you're looking at it. This is a process coach who's focused on the process of not only this year, certainly next year, and hopefully, ideally, when this team is hitting its peak, its prime will be 3-4 years down the road where hopefully you're contending for a Stanley Cup. Now, it doesn't rule out the question or the answer that they could be a Stanley Cup this team this year. That to me is for Jim Montgomery is that's simply a result. And I think that's something for us to talk about. If you were to ask Jim Montgomery and this team, the main focus is just today. And he even said, we're going to wake up tomorrow and we're going to focus on tomorrow. And when you're building something and you're looking at the process of where we're going to be in 2, 3, 4 years, I'm telling you guys, you have to have a coach who is so immersed in the day in and the day out. That is the most important quality. I thought he answered it correctly the other day. And even after the win last night, he said, great win, great start, We got a lot of work to do. Let's go home. Let's get some sleep. Let's wake up and do it again tomorrow. I mean, that to me is what it's all about. So I think we got a good coach right now with some really good communication and knowledge and wherewithal about how to move this thing in the right direction.
Joey, one of the things that I saw yesterday was they looked like they all had each other's back. Not that it's happened at times where it didn't feel that way. I know that that's just not because of a coaching change. I mean, even if you hate your coach, you still love one another. Why did it feel like yesterday was more of that than what we've seen before?
You know, I think that to be fair, Carey, I think that, you know, the last couple years, sorry.
What did you do, Joey?
What did you do, Ray?
Sorry.
What did you do?
Yeah, I'll call you guys later. Hopefully I'll be all right.
It's Spider-Man.
I hope they got the guy. Anyway, hey, part of living in New York. You know, I think that you know, sticking together, that to me it's a feeling, right? It's the culture, it's the group, it's the relationships. I mean, I'm talking to Alexander Steen the other night, and, you know, if you guys ever have a chance just to pick his brain, it's amazing how he thinks. It's amazing his philosophies and how he feels championship teams are born and bred. You know, everyone talks about, you know, building strength down the middle, you know, having good goaltending. Yes, those are important things, but for Steen, it's really about the relationships. It's about guys caring for each other, being there for each other. You know, he remarked so much on that 2019 championship team the other night. He talked about Gloria. That was their thing. It was a goofy song, but it was their thing. They had their thing. And, you know, Carey, you've been a part of some great teams too. Every championship team and quality team, they have that it. They have that thing, that factor. You can't even put your finger on, but the togetherness and being out there and looking at each other and going to bat for one another, it's the biggest thing. And it's something Ryan O'Reilly said to me, you know, back after that 19th season, heading into the 20th season, something I'll never forget. He said, really, you got to be on the bench, and championship teams all have one thing in common. You're on the bench, you're looking to your left, you're looking to your right, and the best teams, the quality teams in this league, that player is looking to his left and his right, and he's saying, I got to do everything for this guy and this guy. And then those guys are saying the exact same thing. It's a giving game, right? And you have to be able to provide stuff for each other, to give yourself over for the betterment of the team. And I think you look at examples last night after that second period. I mean, that was no joke. I mean, Matt Rempe's on the lineup. He's one of the toughest guys in the league. And those guys all sticking up for each other. It was a really, really good moment for this group.
No, it certainly was. And last night was big, and hopefully it just continues to carry on here. All right, Joey, we'll let you go. We know you're on the run, and hopefully we'll talk to you again next week.
If I didn't get bailed out, I know who to call.
That's right. That's right. See you, buddy. All right, that's Joey Vitale here in the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. Man, you can just feel the energy overall. CD, you can feel the energy from us talking about it, fans that I've talked to, and then even guys like Joey who were on the call last night. Jamie earlier was with us. You can just tell, man, the energy's a lot different today than it has been at any point this year.
Yeah, again, it's one game. Like,
okay,
it's
a big game.
No, it's a big game, biggest game ever.
No,
it's the best game ever. No, it's the big game.
Yeah.
No, it's one game, and so you don't want to get too high or too. I've told you all where I'm at. I'm at the even keel place. Not too high. I thought yesterday was really good though. Like, the energy did look good. It looked good from start to finish, and that's been the problem. They've either started off really slow and gave up the lead to begin games or begin a period, or they finished really slow.
Yep.
Yesterday, they did neither. They started, and they finished the game. So if that's the mindset, the cohesion that they're going to play with going forward, then they do have an opportunity to be a really good team. And you're starting to get guys back healthy, which when your guys are out and they're missing an extended period of time, it makes life hard on you. So you get guys back healthy. You're playing a team game, playing for one another, playing hard. I think they can do some special things.
No doubt. Blues, Devils tomorrow, pregame starting right here on 101 ESPN at 5 o'clock. We'll have all of the coverage for you, again, on the Blues Radio Network and 101 ESPN. We have my NFL Week 12 game notes coming up for you. One quarterback has already proved that he's deserved the contract, and I don't know if people were saying that a couple of weeks ago. I'll tell you which one is that, which quarterback that is next on 101 ESPN. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. So we went over Marsh, Jamie, and Carey's Week 12 game notes. Here's mine, starting off with a team that Carey actually covered in his game notes, the Miami Dolphins. Tua's proving he's been worth the contract. I'm not saying there's no risk involved, because obviously there's risk involved given the health concerns of his concussions. But this looks like you called them a dangerous team earlier, and you're right. This is a team that, if they do make the playoffs, you're probably not going to want to face because you know how explosive they are. But they're also a team that couldn't move the ball at all without Tua.
Right.
I know he's not elite. I know he's not a top 5 quarterback. I don't even know if he's top 10, quite frankly. But this is somebody
last year, didn't he?
He did, but I think there's a difference between leading the league in passing and having the opportunities and throwing. We're talking about attempts and all that, and what else is around. I'm just talking about you wouldn't take Tua over Lamar.
No,
you wouldn't take. Obviously, you wouldn't take Tua over Patrick Mahomes. No. You wouldn't take Tua over Josh Allen. You wouldn't take him over Joe Burrow. No. Like, he's not an elite quarterback.
Okay,
but I think he has proven that the Dolphins are a consistent playoff team with him, and they are one of the worst teams. They might be one of the worst teams in the league without him.
I agree.
That's kind of where I'm at now.
Yeah, I think that offense is completely different when he's under center.
Yeah.
Like they can move the football. Jonnu Smith he's figured some things out over the last couple of weeks. He's been playing outstanding. Mm-hmm. You haven't heard much from Tyreek Hill. He's dealing with some injuries. I think a foot injury. Jalen Waddle had a big game. Devon Achane is running the ball really well. Like they are a much better team with Tua than without him, obviously. Right. So that's why I said earlier, I think that they are a team that right now on the outside looking in that can make a push to find their way into the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. They have a winnable schedule here down the stretch.
Yeah, they are drastically different with them.
Yes.
My second key here is that, or the second note, I should say, is that the bloom is officially off the rose in Washington.
Why?
Heinbloom?
No. He's here in St. Louis.
Oh.
No.
Thought he didn't take over the Commanders?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Not that I know.
The Nationals, though. The Cardinals traded him to the Nationals.
No, guys. I'm talking about the Commanders.
Oh,
you said in Washington.
Yeah, I meant the Commanders. Washington Commanders. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We got lost.
The shine is no more with the Commanders.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. You lose to the Cowboys.
Their
and
helmets
you give up
are pretty dull looking.
It's matte. It's like a matte.
Yeah, it's like a matte color. Yeah.
Kind of matte burgundy look.
Yeah.
They don't have enough shine on there.
Is that what you're talking about?
No. Talking about the football team.
Oh, okay.
They've lost some luster here.
Oh, they've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, they don't look good.
That loss to the Cowboys is atrocious. That's about as bad as it gets.
Yes. They got to play. They're one of those teams, and there's multiple teams in the league like this. Because their defense isn't overly talented, when they don't play with the lead, they're in trouble. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was one of my biggest takeaways from Sunday. I'm watching that game on Sunday, and I'm like, wow, they cannot get any separation from Dallas. They cannot get a hold of the game. They needed a miracle Terry McLaurin touchdown to even set up a possible extra point, which they missed.
Austin Seibert missed.
Yeah, because it was a bad snap on the one.
He was dealing with an injury going into that game. I think he's on IR now.
Yeah, but the last one the snap was bad. The holder did a good job of trying to, but the timing was all messed up. Whatever. You shouldn't need a miracle play like the one they got from Terry McLaurin in order to you got your one miracle earlier in the year against the Bears.
Yeah,
that's it.
You probably win that game if you don't give up 2 kickoff returns. I mean, I know one of them was at the end of the game, and
that
was
one,
a hands team situation. Right. But the one that Turpin returned, we were talking about it yesterday. He hit the circle button. Yeah, buddy. It got out of there.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
That was. But Washington, Charlotte, I still think that, I don't know. I was going to say I still think they're a playoff team. But if you look at the NFC standings right now, they are just ahead of Arizona. They're a game ahead of Arizona.
Well,
I could see them falling
Arizona
out.
is the division. Oh, no, Seattle is now.
Seattle is, yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a share of the division, but Seattle right now is the leader because they just beat them. The Cardinals do have to go to Minnesota. They got the Seahawks again, the Summit home. Patriots, Panthers, Rams, 49ers. There's some winnable games there in the month of December.
I think it's going to be hard for Washington. Brian Robinson has not been healthy. He's been dealing with a knee injury. Austin Eckler just got concussed at the end of that game.
Yep.
I don't know, running situation. I don't know what the running back room is looking like right now. A lot of guys that are unhealthy. And you said it, the defense. The defense is for them has not taken the step that is needed just yet. Yep. Offensively, Jaden, and the difference from him when he's not running the football. Mm-hmm. Like we talked about, I know we were joking I was joking, the rib injury that he's dealt with, he's playing, but he is limited because he's not running. He's not using his legs in the manner in which he had been earlier this season, which kind of, limits what they can do offensively. You sit there in the pocket, and now your running backs are hurt as well. I think it's going to be a tough task here going down the stretch for the Washington Commanders.
The good news, though, even though they've lost 3 straight, they've got the Titans, the Saints, the Eagles, the Falcons, and the Cowboys. Outside of the Eagles, all of those games are winnable. Don't look at me like that. Atlanta's not going to Washington and beating them. They're not.
Okay.
They're not going to beat their old. They're not going to beat their old coach.
Okay, Anthony.
Dan Quinn is going to be psyched out of his mind to beat the Falcons in that game.
You're right.
I don't think
psyched out of his mind.
Falcons aren't going to win another game this year.
They won't.
Is that what you're saying?
Correct. That's a 6-win team I've ever seen one.
You probably would want that so you can get Michael Penix Jr.
No, I don't want that. No, I really don't. No, I want to see them. Like, let's all seriousness, right? Like, reverse jinx aside. No, I don't even care if they're an underdog in the first round at home. Like, I want to see them play a playoff game. Right. It's been since 2017.
It's been a while.
Aerosmith.
If the
Creed. What the hell you talking about?
The playoffs started today, it'd be the Atlanta Falcons and the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
Are y'all gonna put a diner?
No.
What happened with that bet?
Jamie lost. He still hasn't done it.
I wasn't here for that.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
The Falcons and the Vikings finished with the exact same record last year, which means Jamie had to do the pancake challenge, and he didn't, or the waffle challenge.
This just occurred to me. I don't think Jamie's ever going to do it.
I don't think so either. Yeah. I don't think he ever had any intention of doing it. No. But he would have reminded us daily that we haven't done it. Yeah. If we were to lose. All right, my third takeaway is that absolutely nobody wants to win the NFC West.
Nobody.
With the 49ers being, with the 49ers taking a massive step back this year, with the 49ers issues, it has opened everything up in the NFC West. The problem is the Seahawks are okay.
Yeah.
The Cardinals are okay. The Rams are okay. None of those teams are really good. It shows you how dominant the 49ers have been. Mm-hmm. That we're looking at this NFC West, it's wide open. It's not really exciting because you don't know what you're going to get out of the Seahawks, Cardinals, and Rams on a week-to-week basis.
Can I pick a winner in it?
Yeah.
I think it's the Rams.
No.
I do. I think the Rams will win it.
I don't think so.
They got the Saints this week coming up. And then they got the Bills, which I think is a winnable game. And they got at the 49ers, at the Jets versus the Cardinals, and then the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not going to be the Rams.
You believe more in the Seahawks? Okay.
Yeah.
2 things.
I believe
which quarterback do you believe more in? Of the NFC
Stafford.
West quarterbacks. Okay.
Stafford.
Which head coach do you believe most in?
McVay.
What team do they play for and coach for?
The Rams.
Okay. Right.
I don't like the Rams.
Sold.
I don't like the Rams defense.
You don't like Jared Verse running over offensive tackles? And I mean, listen, hold on. Nobody's stopping Philadelphia running.
You just gave up 255 yards.
I know.
To one player.
I get it.
Who's not a quarterback.
He's special, though. He's the MVP.
He's never done that before.
Well, first time for everything.
I can't back a team that just allowed 255 yards. I don't care if it's Saquon or not. Walter Payton could have reemerged.
Listen.
And if he'd done that, I'd be...
You got a couple 70-yard runs there. You're going to get 270, 255, Anthony. I watched that personally in college. I watched Larry Johnson rush for like 270 on us.
Oh, no.
And had a 70-yarder callback.
Penn State.
We got a text from the 618. Hey, morons. That song is by Stained. Get it together, guys. You're better than that.
As Jamie would say, Fish on. Yeah.
Got him.
Got him. All right. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Oh, Marsh gets shot next.
I thought we had the biggest question of the day coming back.
No. The biggest question of the day is
who's going to
which
shoot
cheek?
Marsh?
Which cheek for Marsh?
Left cheek, right cheek. Left
Five.
cheek, right cheek.
Marshy,
come on.
Shots.
Jeez Louise.
By the way, we lost in the
Did we lose?
in the tiebreak.
What are we doing?
It's my fault. I'll take accountability.
It is, I think, 8-5 now.
What are we doing?
We were up 7-0.
You know what? I'm
We
not
were up
liking this.
7-0. Now we're up 8-5.
Anthony turned the game off.
Did I?
Is it 8-5?
Wait, is it 8-5?
8-4.
8-4 is the. Because this is week 13.
We need to buckle down. I put the cul-de-sac on the line a couple weeks ago.
You absolutely did.
You definitely did.
Marsh, we don't. I mean, as much as we want to see it, we don't want to see it.
I don't want any Paul Cruz on my team.
Yeah, no. All right, so we're still up 8-4. That's the good news, but the wrist show is kind of hanging around here. Not great. But we will shoot Marsh 5 times with the airsoft gun next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues pick up a victory in New York at Madison Square Garden last night. A 5-2 victory over the Rangers. They'll take on the New Jersey Devils tomorrow. We'll have an early pregame for you. 5 o'clock pregame right here on 101 ESPN. Puck drop will be at 6. If you missed anything from today's show, including our interview with Joe Vitale, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. It is free. If you have not downloaded it, go and do so. It is free. So go check that out. Head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Tonight we have Heat versus Bucks. Little NBA action for you. I'm sure Jackson Burkett is excited about that. Pregame starts at 6 o'clock. Coming up next, we have our NFL Week 12 Pick'em Challenge recap. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Get ready to pick 'em. It's the Fast Lane Football Pick'em Challenge on 101 ESPN.
Refreshed by Bud Light.
Well, you sure know how to pick 'em.
The standings from last week.
What? We're talking about our standings. I thought you meant collectively. That's why I picked it.
No, we. Unfortunately, I already went over that. We lost to the Riz Show this past weekend. We still have a 4-week lead. The magic number's still 1. Now, granted, it's been 1 for the last couple of weeks.
Gotta get it together.
But we're fine, guys, okay? Right. Let's not get a little crazy here.
Alrighty.
Okay? Now, week 12, I had 10. Carey had 9. I'm now up 2 on Carey.
Yeah.
We have a personal battle going on here.
Sneaky.
Yeah. I've got 10. Carey had 9. BK with 9, Jamie Rivers with 9, and our guy Andrew Marsh with 8. The difference being he faded his Vikings to ensure a victory, and it happened. It did. You got it.
Yeah, I was looking at the overall standings from every single week, and I am 6 points behind you. And if I were to not fade the Vikings in about half of those games, I'd probably be winning out of everybody. But I continue to do it, and I'm willing to do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to fight for your team.
My team is doing pretty well this year.
Rolling.
Thanks to me.
I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can believe that. He's right. No, it works that way.
If I take the Vikings last week, they blow that game, and they already did. They did blow it, but they lose in overtime.
Yeah, they do.
I don't think that's how that works.
No, that's exactly how it works. Exactly how it works.
You know what? Marsh is making a lot of sense right now, Carey. You should listen. Okay? Now, Marsh.
Yes.
Bend over. Time to shoot you with the airsoft gun. This is the punishment for losing our Fastlane Rizzuto Show Pick'em Challenge refreshed by Bud Light. It's it adds up here. It's cumulative. So
this hurts us more than it hurts you.
Absolutely. So
Marsh that rule?
Marsh gets shot 5 times now because he's lost 5 weeks.
Do we even have 5 pellets?
Oh yeah, I made sure.
Airsoft gun.
We got more than 5.
I made sure.
I didn't wear the fluffy shorts today either.
It's gonna hurt. So Marsh, get on over there. Carey will go ahead and shoot you.
Do we need to turn some lights on?
I hope you feel it.
Yes, we absolutely.
Every shot that hits me in the rear end, I hope you feel that emotionally.
I will. Yeah, I don't like this. Especially when we have to turn on the lights.
Why do you hope he feels it emotionally?
Because he said it's going to hurt me more than it hurts you, so I hope that you feel that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, come on over, everybody.
All right.
We're sorry
that you feel this way. Go ahead. All right, Marsh. Let's make sure that you're in front of the camera.
Do you want to turn on this? Can you turn on this mic? No? Okay, don't worry about it.
Can I? No.
Well, yeah, actually. You want to turn on Jamie's?
Can't you turn it on like this?
No, that's not how that works. Oh, is it on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I can hear
see
you.
myself. I can't hear myself. I can hear my whatever. All right, Marshy. What's going on here? What is Marshy doing?
Oh, he's no, you can't use Jamie's face, Marsh.
It's not going to work this time, buddy. All right.
Keep spelling, mister. All right, Marsh putting his Jamie Rivers collectible back.
What you got?
And he's walking back over here. Oh, you got
you're getting close. You want to scoot up a little bit?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let's go. 5 shots. There we go.
2, 1.
Oh, that was high.
That was right above the pocket. I saw it.
Ouch. That's 1.
You want the same or opposite?
Let's go back and forth.
All right.
Oh, man. Here we go. There's number 2. Oh. Oh, man. Why did you wear the track pants today?
That looked like it hurt.
Oh, man. All right, that's 2 out of 5. Here we go. Number 3.
3, 2, 1.
Oh! That was a little toward center.
No, that was in the same spot as the first one. I tried to aim lower.
Here we go. Number 4.
Oh. All right, I'll go a little lower.
Oh!
Your pocket had a little
okay, all right, there you go. All right, last one.
Go back to the right.
Last one. Oh, no.
Nope.
Oh, we're misfiring now. This is the worst.
Here we
Need
go.
help?
Yeah.
All right. This is, again, punishment for Andrew Marsh losing for another week in the Pick'em Challenge. Trying to get one last shot here.
That left side looked like it hurts.
Oh, come on. You're nothing worse than when your gun jams when you're trying to punish Andrew Marsh here. All right, here we go.
All right, Marsh.
Last one. Airsoft gun here. And right in the middle. That was right in the middle.
The pocket helped him.
Yeah.
He had a little
That wasn't
fluffer
too
on the
bad.
pocket.
The first 3 were real bad. The last 2 not so bad. All right. Marsh, you okay, buddy?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. All right. I see you're not sitting down. Is that a choice? Personal choice?
It's personal choice.
Just feeling it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sit down here in a second.
Okay.
I gotta. Oh, no, I was gonna say something, but
Marsh's got the old track pants on. Not great.
rubbing my rear end right now.
Yeah, you are.
Trying
Yep.
to get the pain out.
All right, now Marsh.
Yeah.
Your Vikings are taking on the Cardinals. Will you go right back to the well?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yep. I respect that. I
Absolutely.
really do. I respect that.
You're going again. Oh gosh.
I think in 2 weeks though is when things are going to get a little dicey because you're clearly going to pick the Vikings. And I'm clearly going to pick the Falcons. So
we're going to really find out.
We're going to really find out who has the better luck when it comes to fading their team.
Who got the juice?
Yeah, who's got the real reverse jinx?
Yeah.
And who's just merely been lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun, that's for sure. All right. That'll do it for
That was fun.
Yeah.
week
Not
12.
I mean, not really,
No,
but
not for Marsh.
You know.
It looked terrible, actually.
Oh, it felt terrible. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah, our guy Lil Beehole says shots should be doubled when the entire team loses. That's from the Snake Pit.
I think that's a terrible idea, and I think you should leave. And then come back tomorrow, of course, from 2 to 6.
yeah,
but for now, I'm mad.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, bet the board, even though it's basically over, Andrew Marsh is going to
He's the champion.
wrap this thing
He's
up.
the champion.
Only up by 3. Still have a parlay left.
3 stars of the day. Do you have yours? No, you don't have yours, do you?
My parlay?
Oh, you used it. You used it game 1.
That's how you got the lead.
That's right.
I didn't get it.
You had a 4. Did you have a 4?
It was a 4, yeah. And I'm up by 3 right now, so.
Have I used my parlay?
You did.
You did. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I just wanted to know if you all were paying attention.
Did Jamie use his?
Jamie hasn't picked in like 3 days.
Okay, yeah.
He has not.
Sucks for him. All right. 3 stars of the day and criticisms and compliments. It's all next on 101 ESPN. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or on your Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobstar Auto Centers. Time to bet the board, even though, again, it's pretty much
Why do we need to? I mean, Marshy won, right?
Insurmountable lead, we've been calling this.
Oh, stop it.
You got a parlay left, don't you, Anthony?
Certainly do.
You going to use it today?
Not that it's...
Any of your business? It's none of your damn business, Dan. And I'd appreciate if you stay out of my personal affairs.
No, I'm not going to use it today.
Okay.
Tomorrow's it, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow's the end of the contest.
Mm-hmm. For this month.
I'm down by 3. I want to know what I'm going to be down by. Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it a deuce?
Yes.
Find out. We'll find out tomorrow.
On Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Wait, what? Okay. Marsh.
Find out next week on Dragon Ball Z.
You guys are sick. Go ahead.
Give me the Minnesota Timberwolves -3 tonight against the Houston Rockets at -112.
Interesting. I was going to go with that. No. Give me the Houston Cougars in the first half tonight against Alabama. -2. Houston, -2 in the first half.
I'm like, what are you
against Bama?
It's
a big matchup.
I haven't recovered since you took what game was it that you took from me? It's basketball,
Celtics
wasn't it? And the Cavs. I haven't recovered.
Yeah, and the Cavs. That's right.
And out of spite.
Yeah, you're right.
I haven't recovered.
Was it.
It's been a wrap for me since then.
It really has. You're so mad.
I was so
you faded me, even though you didn't like the play. You didn't like the Celtics.
I hated it.
Yeah.
And I did it anyways, and I have not recovered.
You're right. Have you won since that point?
I think I won one. I took LeBron James. We're going to take him again tonight. 39.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Over for -111.
There you go. What's Jamie at?
How many points does he have?
Yeah.
Well, not enough to win. He's at 6.
All right. I know he said earlier in one of his spots that he liked Utah over Montreal. So give him the Utah Hockey Clubs.
Utah Hockey Club.
I think they're like -135 or something like that. All right, there you go. Marsh, what do you got for criticisms and compliments?
From the 314, just getting to tune in. Why does Marsh look like a bank robber today?
Yeah, Marsh, can you shed some insight on your choice of wardrobe?
Yeah, well, you guys texted me and you said, hey, gentlemen, we're all wearing black today.
Yep.
And so I figured I'd hop in on all the fun.
Good.
And, it's a little chilly outside, so I threw this little hat on that I wore yesterday as well.
Nice.
And just happened to also be the color black.
Okay.
And now I look like a bank robber, apparently. I just don't have the gloves or the utensils. Not the utensils, but a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look like the guys from The Sandlot who got eaten by Hercules.
That's right.
Yeah, Old Mr. Myrtle.
That's right.
Loud Old Man Myrtle.
Who, Herman?
From the 314, I live in New York now for over 10 years and still listen to you guys over the New York sports stations. You guys are great.
Dude, thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate you, yeah.
From the 314, I just wanted...
It's a huge compliment.
It is a huge compliment. So is this one from the 314. I just wanted to write and extend my thanks to all of you for being part of my ride home every night this year. I started listening in March, having not ever listened to sports talk radio, and I find you guys incredibly funny and insightful. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Wow,
thank you.
Very nice compliment as well. Holy smokes. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Anthony, earlier you were saying something about the Washington Commanders and something about roses.
Yeah.
Forgot what it was. Can you enlighten us?
The bloom is off the rose in Washington.
That's right.
Yeah.
From the 618, DC has cherry blossoms, not roses. Idiot!
That's funny. Now that's creative.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, from 636, I feel like this person knows who I am. Criticism: Marsh needs to shave his face and hair and go back to his middle school wiffle ball days. Wow.
Whoa.
Okay. Well, if we keep losing, it has to be. Yeah, I was a huge wiffle ball player back in the day. Oh, yeah, we had a league and everything.
Okay, yeah, this person knows you.
I did. The last time I shaved my head was freshman year of high school.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. Haven't done it since.
This guy apparently.
If we don't take care of business, he's going to shave his head here shortly.
How about this? The 636, same person. Compliment Anthony as the best NFL takes on the station.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Anthony, you texting in?
I did, yeah. That's from my phone. It's a 314 number? Yeah, that was me. Oh, Splashback Deuce is right. It was George. Did I say Herman?
George?
George.
Oh, yeah.
George?
Well, you're thinking of George Herman.
Yeah. George Herman. Ruth.
From the 314, have a good night, boys. Stay warm and stay. Stay, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I'm not staying. I'm not staying
here, but
I'm not staying here.
You know,
in the studio.
Around.
Yeah, I'll be around.
Yeah.
I just won't stay here.
No.
Yeah, I got
Yeah, Carey's off tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, programming no for you tomorrow. Jamie on for an hour, 2 to 3. And then Marsh and I got you covered from 3 to 5.
Yes.
3 to 5.
All right, 3 stars of the day. Our 3rd star of the day goes out to text messages that we receive, whether they're on time or not. Never know.
Got
Better
one
late than never.
Got one that we're all very confused by because we hadn't been talking about this certain topic.
Yeah.
And it's very snarky, which we appreciate.
Yeah.
But we asked if you were okay. And they were like, is this TMA?
Yeah.
No, this is not. No. Nope. Sent that to TMA apparently this morning.
2nd star of the day goes out to taking one for your team, including 5 of them.
Oh,
Nice job, Marsh.
Good job, Marshy.
Yep.
Thank you. 1st star of the day goes out to Jackson, who actually got all of our questions today for the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So shout
Good
out
job.
to Jackson.
Nice job, Jackson. Nice job. All right, that'll do it for us here in the Fast Lane. We have got Heat Bucks pregame starting in a couple of minutes. For Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. We appreciate you listening. See ya.